can help. And if you don't get paid, the attorneys don't get paid, and I don't get paid. So pick up that phone and call the number on your screen now. I said right now. Call now, not later now. I don't hear the phone ringing. Listen, I'd call you, but I don't have your number. I know you're watching. Yes, you. Just pick up the phone and call.
To get a windfall, you first need to call. Call your favorite attorney now. He'd call you, but he doesn't have your number.
800-787-1896. That's 800-787-1896.
All right, before we go, we want to wish all the moms out there a very happy Mother's Day. And we all hope you have a very good weekend, have some great weather for it as well. First edition, we're going to be back Monday morning. News Now is up next as we take a look at our crew here and their mothers. We'll be right back.
Journey to find answers to life's biggest questions. Watch Road Trip to Truth, Monday and Saturday on theDove TV. Encouraging and informative. Good morning. You're tuned to theDove. Encouraging and informative. Helping Oregon, Northern California, Idaho, and Nevada start the day with news and encouragement. This is Mornings on theDove.
Well, good morning to you. Happy Friday. Welcome to Mornings on theDove. It took us 4 days to get here. And here we are.
Again.
It was a long trip, but we made it.
But look where we made it, too. Look at this.
Well, this is, we are in the middle of the beautiful flower bed this morning.
Yeah.
Why?
Why, yeah. Oh, because Mother's Day on Sunday.
Now, I think we have a close-up of these. Do we have a close-up of these?
Do we? Look
at that.
Whoa. Those things grew.
Okay, and that is to let you know that Sunday is Mother's Day.
Yeah.
And guys and gals and children and husbands, you cannot use the excuse that you were not forewarned.
That's right.
Okay?
Yes.
And if you're smart, you'll be doing something this morning, not tomorrow.
Not tomorrow, but keep in mind that if it dawns on you tomorrow that you have done nothing, rush, run as fast as you can.
Yes.
Do not delay.
Yeah.
Go down and do something immediately. I'll never forget, I was in buying a Mother's Day card on Mother's Day.
Yeah.
Me and another guy by ourselves in the card section.
You got the last two cards.
No,
in the
the
back?
guy, he's like, this isn't exactly what I wanted to say, but this will do.
Oh, boy, don't go down that road.
But anyway, a clerk walked by and she looked and she goes, oh, man, you guys are late. And I said, no, tomorrow's late.
Yeah.
We're on time.
That was Leon's thing.
Yeah, okay.
All right, so that's a close-up of the field, but that's just a little bit of a reminder. So here's the broad shot of the beautiful flower field this morning. There we go.
That is
We're
wonderful.
back to that. All right. All right, good morning to you. Happy Friday. A lot going on in the news. There always is. And let's take a look at what you got.
Well, I was trying to boot here. Do you ever find that the older your equipment is, the slower you boot?
Oh, so you're going to blame it on your equipment.
I'm like, come on, man, come up. Okay, today is, first of all, National Military Spouse Appreciation Day, always observed on the Friday before Mother's Day.
Okay.
Yeah, so, you know, all spouses of military members, our hats off to you.
Right.
And I hope that you all have a wonderful Mother's Day, even if you're a husband.
Okay.
Because there are spouses that their wives are serving.
Yes.
Yeah, so our hats off to you.
Yes.
National Student Nurse Day. It's part of National Nurses Week. We've recognized a lot of nursing this week. Regular nurses. We've had now student nurses. And, of course, our hats off to you as well. National Provider Appreciation Day, celebrated annually on the Friday before Mother's Day. And, you know, provider. We think of moms as providers.
Yeah.
And it is National Coconut Cream Pie Day, celebrating its own slice of deliciousness made with a sweet coconut cream filling. Pie lovers know a thick layer of real whipped cream topped with roasted coconut makes this pie irresistible. Isn't it good?
Yes.
I love it. It's right there as it is. You don't have to add anything to it.
No.
So
This is coconut cream and banana cream, but coconut cream is just marvelous. Mm-hmm. Absolutely marvelous.
And then wash it down with some Coca-Cola. Today is National Have a Coke Day.
Really?
First introduced to the public on this day in 1886 and served at Jacob's Pharmacy in Atlanta. It was 5 cents, and the original formula was created by Dr. John S. Pemberton, a pharmacist, and was marked with a tonic for the most common ailments, including headaches, fatigue, and nervousness.
And it created its own song.
Oh, Coca-Cola is the marketing genius of all products in the world. We're looking at the iconic Hilltop Coke ad, and a couple things about this, but did you know if you walk down the street in America and you said a product name and 95% of the people on the street recognize it, you'd have pretty good market saturation. Coke's got that globally.
Yeah, I know.
Globally.
Globally. You can go to any country and say Coke and they know what you're talking about.
This ad is iconic, but it was supposed to be shot on the White Cliffs of Dover in England. And they they spent their whole budget, they sat on the cliffs for 3 days and they got poured on. They tried to get footage, but everybody looked like they got rained on.
Yeah.
So they said, hang on, we found this hill in Italy. The weather's decent, let's ship everybody there. They said, wait a minute, we've already blown the budget on this. They said, the budget just doubled.
Yeah.
And so they took them down there, and of course it is one of those that we all know.
Can you play that a little more, Scott?
Yeah,
And
let's hear it.
Turn the volume up a little bit.
Yeah.
Can you do it again? Okay, turn it.
The world a home and furnish it with love. Grow apple trees and honey bees and snow white turtle doves. I like to teach the world to sing. Sing with me. Perfect harmony. Perfect harmony. I like to buy the world a Coke and keep it company. And the real I like to teach the world to sing. In perfect harmony. And I'd like to buy the world a Coke and keep it company. It's the real thing. What the world wants today. It's the real thing.
Isn't that wonderful?
It really is.
Takes you back.
And you kind of wonder why they haven't brought that back.
I don't know. You know, that's a great idea.
I mean, they brought classic back. Why didn't they bring the song back?
Yes. And there was one of the marketing coups of forever. Let's replace you know why they replaced the original Coke? Because the Pepsi Challenge. Remember the Pepsi Challenge?
Yeah.
They would set up, that was an organic little movement, and they said, well, Pepsi tastes better, so let's change it. And people revolted.
Oh, boy.
They said, well, no way, this is Coke.
This is when your marketing works so well that your customers can't even entertain a change.
Right.
Yeah, that's pretty good.
So, have a Coke.
There
have
you
a
go.
great day.
Speaking of a classic,
Oh, yeah.
there you go. Here's a classic right here. He does the weather.
Here's a look at our forecast from Grange Co-op. Today in northern Oregon and southern Washington, including Vancouver, Portland, Wilsonville, and McMinnville, mostly cloudy through mid-morning, then gradually becoming sunny with highs in the low 70s. Moving down the Willamette Valley, mostly cloudy, then gradually becoming sunny with high temperatures in the low 70s for Salem, Albany, and Corvallis, and near 75 in Eugene with a light southwest wind. In central Oregon, mostly sunny in mid to upper 70s around Prineville, decreasing clouds becoming sunny in low to mid 70s for Bend and Sun River, mostly sunny and nice in low 80s in Boise, Idaho. Along the Oregon coast, patchy fog, then sunny in mid-60s in Coos Bay. Mostly cloudy, gradually becoming sunny from Port Orford with a high near 61, through Brookings near 56, and Crescent City, California near 60. In southern Oregon, sunny to mostly sunny for the Rogue Valley with highs in the low 80s for Grants Pass and Medford and near 77 in Ashland. Sunny across the Klamath Basin with highs in the mid-70s. Into Northern California, sunny skies from Wairika with a high near 81 through Redding and Chico with high temperatures near 89. Mostly cloudy over in Fort Bragg, then gradually becoming sunny with a high near 58. In the Bay Area, patchy fog, then becoming sunny in low 80s for Santa Rosa and upper 70s in Napa. Sunny in San Francisco with a high in the upper 60s and patchy fog, then sunny and 77 in San Jose. Central California will see plenty of sunshine today with daytime highs in the mid-80s from Sacramento through Stockton and Modesto and into the low 90s for Fresno, Visalia, and Bakersfield. It's a snapshot of your Friday weather from Grange Co-op.
And a picture of our backyard this morning. We got a little bit of a thin overcast. Probably won't last long, but looking good out there. Looking good out there.
So where do you turn and look to in times of trouble? Here with some great encouragement is Alistair Begg.
Proverbs 24:10. If you falter in times of trouble, how small is your strength? And that's not with a question. That's with an exclamation point. My response to that, first of all, is to say if, because if I go back down the pathway of life, I know that I often do falter in times of trouble. And many times when I sing the hymn, what a friend we have in Jesus, and it has the lines, do your friends despise, forsake you? Is there trouble anywhere? Under my breath, I'm going, yes and yes. And I think the challenge of that verse is for us to recognize the danger of becoming increasingly self-reliant. But as we know, every day of our life brings a fresh challenge, brings new opportunities both for progress and for decline. And so, like Paul, whatever comes into my life to show me how weak I am and how easy it is for me to collapse rather than to stand tall, anything that comes into my life to do that is actually a blessing from God. Because remember, Paul, when he wanted things to be different in his life, particularly whatever his thorn in the flesh was, he finally resolved it by saying, okay, I get it. If your power is made perfect in weakness, then the weaker I am, the more dependent I become, and the more dependent I become, the more I discover your strength. So, if today you started off the day saying, I've got this covered, and you've only gone 20 minutes into it and you know that you don't, then check yourself to see where your dependence is. Am I depending on the work of the Holy Spirit, on the guidance of God's Word, and indeed on the friendship and encouragement of those who God has given me as partners in the journey of life? If I falter in the day of trouble, it's probably because I'm relying on myself rather than relying on God, who is able to strengthen and keep me.
He's quite the guy.
Yeah.
Quite the guy. Good stuff. Well, sooner or later you hit a point where you go, this ain't working.
Yep. Yeah.
So stop. If you're in a hole, stop digging.
Have you ever heard somebody say, I thank the universe for blank?
Yeah.
I have.
Yeah.
I was like,
really?
I have.
Who are you hanging out with?
Well, you know what? We're supposed to have a broad sphere of friends and acquaintances,
you
know?
Yeah.
I was like, what's the universe going to do for you? What?
I don't know.
Come on.
Don't know.
You should probably thank the one who created the universe.
There you go.
Period.
Good stuff.
Yeah.
All right, good morning to you. 12 minutes past the hour. Let's take a look at some of the top stories. And of course, the Middle East is still very much in the news. Even though we're under a ceasefire, they did some exchange in the Straits of Hormuz. Iran fired on some things, and the United States, according to the president, love-tapped him back. That was his term.
Yeah, right.
We gave him a little love tap.
Yeah.
The ceasefire, supposedly, in effect, I don't know where it's going. In the meantime, we've heard this before, and I don't mean this to be disrespectful. It's just that we've heard this headline before. And the president says that Iran's peace deal could be a week away. Well, how many times have we been to the peace deal?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
In the meantime, the Project Freedom has there in the Straits of Hormuz has been paused. So it started and stopped, which seems to be another pattern that we see.
Yeah.
But anyway, bottom line, no change.
Yeah, well, and it's interesting too because we're lobbing rounds back and forth at each other. Yet there is a ceasefire in place.
Yeah.
And it all has to do with the War Powers Act.
Yeah.
Because if we admit to that we're actually in a conflict, then we're beyond those limits of the War Powers Act, which is 60 days, which, by the way, has been ignored by Presidents R and D's.
Yeah.
Do you remember Clinton in Bosnia? Do you remember Obama bombing Libya? Both of them ignored the War Powers Act.
Yeah. So anyway, here we are, singing in the kitchen again.
Here we go.
Here we go.
Yeah.
In the meantime, Secretary of State Marco Rubio is traveling the world, and he met with the Pope.
Oh, yeah.
And they had a little get-together. And this was an attempt to see if they could smooth things. It's kind of like when the king came to smooth things out between the president and the UK.
Yeah.
So Marco Rubio, the Secretary of State, meets with the Pope to see if they can get the Pope and the president to kind of calm down. After all, the Pope's an American.
Right, and the Pope said he's not coming to America while Donald Trump's president.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, I mean, the rub is there.
Yeah.
In the meantime, Marco Rubio, a Catholic, takes him a crystal football.
Oh, whoa.
And the Pope gives the Secretary of State a pin out of the olive wood pin, which marks for peace. So I don't know how that ends up. They spent about two and a half hours together. It was kind of like I'll respect you, you respect me, kind of a thing.
What's the crystal football all about?
Well, apparently he's a football fan.
Really?
He was a Cubs, wasn't he?
Well, that's baseball.
Not baseball.
Yeah.
He was
Bears?
Bears.
Chicago Bears.
Yes.
Well, that's his problem.
Poor guy, he just can't win. Poor guy can't even win at his own country. You got the president upset with him.
Yeah.
You don't like him.
Yeah, forget it.
Anyway, so much for that.
All right.
In the meantime, Iran creates an agency to control all of Hormuz and the traffic there. And apparently this isn't going anywhere. They created a government agency to vet and tax passage through the critical Strait of Hormuz. What does this mean?
Yeah, well, yeah.
This just gets more confusing. I am a little confused myself.
Okay. How?
Why haven't we settled this Straits issue?
Yeah.
I don't know.
I don't either.
Okay, so anyway, Iran's flexing its muscles, and what does that mean? Okay. Well, in the meantime, the president, I will say one thing about President Trump. There isn't one part of the world he hasn't touched and shaken things up.
Yeah.
Back to the EU, the president said that he had a great call with the EU president and that they would give the EU until July 4th to fulfill its side of the trade deal, or the United States will hike tariffs.
Oh.
So, the EU is kind of like, what can I say the EU is like? You got the EU, NATO, and the UN. You kind of go, what good are these agencies?
Yes.
And the EU is to Europe what, I don't know, it's just kind of like they all get along. Now, I will say one thing about the UK.
Okay.
They didn't give in to the euro.
Right, yeah.
They
True.
still have the pound, and that was the smartest thing they could have done. But the EU just doesn't seem to go anywhere, and in the meantime, they don't understand what's going on in the Straits. So anyway, the president said, okay, well, we had a nice talk. We had a great call. Everything he does is great. So we had a nice, but if you don't pay your side of the bill here, we're going to, tax you to death. All right. Well, here's a story. Over the last couple of days, Farage over there.
Oh, yeah.
England may be turning. Is it too late?
I don't know.
Historic shift of British politics has taken place where the national political question is no longer about left or right. It's about Nigel Farage, who's the guy that basically did the Brexit thing.
Yeah.
And anyway, he is winning across what would be considered the midterm elections. He is shaking up things. Over 5,000 local races are taking place as we speak, and probably will be continue to come about with the results of the weekend. But in some cases, the people have completely left their party and voting on the conservative side of things. It looks like he could be heading to a major victory in Parliament.
Wow.
And here's a little bit about what he had to say.
The pattern that's emerging over the country is that Labour are being wiped out by reform in many of their most traditional areas. And what you're going to see later on today is the Conservative Party being wiped out in their heartlands like Essex. So London goes a bit against the trend in that the Conservatives and Labour have held up in some of the other boroughs. But I think overall what's happened is a truly historic shift in British politics. We've been so used to thinking about politics in terms of left and right, and yet what Reform are able to do is to win in areas that have always been conservative, but equally we're proving in a big way we can win in areas that Labour have dominated, frankly, since the end of World War I. At the moment, we're winning 1 in 3 of all the seats that are up, but I genuinely think the best is yet to come. I'm very excited about the North East results, the Yorkshire results, some more to come in the West Midlands. Essex, we're feeling supremely confident, and that's significant given that half the Cheddar Cabinet have seats in Essex. So it's a big, big day. It's a big, big day, not just for our party, but for a complete reshaping of British politics in every way.
Wow. It is. And the current Prime Minister, I mean, he was, you know, I want to say this only as a means of describing it, but he is their Biden. The only difference is that this guy seems to know what he's doing. Okay, in the sense that he is a far leftist, radical leftist, right? And from our perspective, and the country is saying no. By the way, there is a genuine revival taking place inside the UK. It's just not making the news. Really? Yeah, there's large gathering of Christian groups and organizations. There's conferences going on. There's rallies going on. There's evangelism going on. So the combination of things is looking like the UK may have said to its parliament, we've had enough of your nonsense, you know, and we want our country back. So we'll see how that goes.
Are they salvageable?
You know, are they salvageable?
Yeah. Because they have gone down this road a long ways right now. They got all kinds of issues. They got Sharia law going on. They are about as woke as we've ever seen them.
Okay. My grandson reminded me this morning, but here's the deal.
Okay.
When the Queen was the Queen, she wouldn't tolerate anything other than the Church of England.
Okay.
The moment she dies, in comes the influx of Sharia law and the Islamic invasion. Oh, wow. Now the question, and you have the king who is like a kumbaya, let's just all hug and get along, okay? Yeah. Okay, so the problem you have here is that the citizens got caught up in the middle of this and they kind of rolled with it because they were kind of half asleep. Now they're waking up to it. So the question is, how do you put it down? Yeah, and are they heading to some kind of a civil unrest among them? But think about these folks. Look, the radical Islamists of the world have one thing in mind, and that's domination. Okay, if England doesn't get their country back, and they have nukes, even though they're up in the Scotland area, if they don't get their country back, and the radical Islamic takes over Parliament, and they get their hands on those nukes.
Yes. Oh boy.
This is serious as a heart attack stuff, and so you have to think about that. You know. Anyway, those are my 2 cents, and now it's been discounted to a penny.
We better have some coconut cream.
It's called new math. Oh gosh, doesn't that sound wonderful?
Yes, it really does.
Friday coconut cream pie.
I got stuck on my
Break
mind.
all the rules. Have it for breakfast. We'll be right back.
Yeah.
We'll be right back.
Mom makes everything a little better. This Mother's Day, let her know. At Grange Co-op, we've got beautiful 10-inch hanging baskets for just $29.99. Jumbo annual packs are $5 each when you buy 2 or more, and select denim is 40% off. Plus, join us for our free Paint-A-Pot event Saturday, May 9th from 10 to 2. Find more deals at GrangeCoop.com or just scan the QR code. Grange Co-op, your Mother's Day destination, now through May 10th.
Applegate River Golf and RV Resort, a pristine 9-hole course alongside the Applegate River. Their clubhouse offers a golf simulator experience. The RV resort is adjacent to the golf course with convenient pull-through parking. Applegate River Golf and RV Resort. Information at applegateRV.com.
When life feels heavy, your body feels it, your mind feels it. That is why I created Organic Elements Wellness Spa, a place where wellness is not a luxury, it's a way of life. Step into our wellness lounge with a Himalayan salt room, infrared sauna, steam room, and invigorating cold plunge. Restore your nervous system, detox your body, and clear your mind. Then experience customized massage, advanced skin therapies, and result-driven facials, all designed to help you look as good as you feel. There's nothing else like this in Southern Oregon. This is your space to heal, to reset, to glow. Call today to book your private wellness party for up to 15 guests or surprise someone special with a gift certificate.
Visit Organic Elements Wellness Spa on East Main Street in Medford. Book online at organicelementspa.com. Wellness is wholeness. Voted best of Southern Oregon.
Your property demands equipment with more reliability, durability, and versatility built in. Kubota equipment is ready to get the job done right.
All right, good morning. Welcome back. 24 minutes past the hour. As you know, we're into an election season, and I hope this weekend, if you haven't voted, sit down. You have your ballot. Sit down with a cup of coffee tomorrow. Get the voter's guide. By the way, we have some left here. You can come, if you're in the local area, swing by and grab one. Or you can go online to the Oregon Family Council. They got a great voter's guide, covers everything. You have your voter's pamphlet. Ask the Lord to help you. And fill it out, sign the envelope, and get it in the mail. Make that your Saturday morning cup of coffee. Project.
Routine,
Okay. In the meantime, as you know, Oregon was challenged about cleaning up its voter rolls, and we found out even to the admission of the Secretary of State, there was about 800,000 people registered that weren't real people, or they were people of another dimension. Well, apparently, the Secretary of State, Tobias Reed, announced that they reached a settlement with the organization that sued them to become more transparent. It's been a year-old lawsuit accusing Oregon of failing to proactively remove people from their voters' roll. Over the state's election, officials sealed what they thought was going to be okay, and come to find out it wasn't. So in the meantime, I will say this: Secretary of State Tobias Reed went to work on it and committed to send the data annually for 5 years to the plaintiff, which was the national group known as Judicial Watch, which is an organization that's really an amazing organization. So the settlement is, yes, they will be transparent and show that we're doing. But here's the question. Will it be done for this election cycle? And it's already admitted there's 800,000 sitting there. What do you do with this stuff?
What can you do with
I don't know. Gosh, it just shows you government is the problem, as Ronald Reagan would say.
Yes.
Government is the problem. All right, just some things in the backyard. I don't know if you've ever taken this in, but the Southern Oregon Repertoire Singers are going to have their big concert this weekend, starting tomorrow and Sunday. There's 2 performances, tomorrow evening at 7:30 and Sunday at 2. This is some of the most beautiful music you'll ever see or hear. Anyway, the reason I'm mentioning this is because it's going to happen. The other reason I'm going to mention this, it's sold out.
Okay.
I don't know if there's any tickets left. This is a great production, and the composer Peter Ralph is there, and this is like some of the most classical stuff you'll ever see and hear, happening right here in our own backyard. So anyway, check that out. If you want to be a part of that, you can. Check it out. It's what they call repssingers.org if there's any tickets left. And then the other thing is, if you're in and around downtown Medford, actually tomorrow and Sunday, they have what they call Art and Bloom. This is where they block off downtown and turn it into one great big Art and Bloom show.
Okay.
A lot of things for kids, horticulture, food, live music, children, and it'll all be blocked off in downtown Medford. It really is quite a deal.
Yeah.
A lot of music, so if you, and the weather's going to be perfect.
Well, that's a good topic. How is the weather going to cooperate for this?
I think it's going to be fun.
Yeah, okay.
Anyway, it's Mother's Day weekend, and downtown Medford hosts it's the 21st annual Arts and Bloom Festival, presented by the city of Medford, and all kinds of things. A good place to go, dancing, food, things for the kids, painting, a lot of plants, flowers. It's just a big spring show.
Right.
And that'll be this coming Saturday and Sunday in beautiful downtown Medford. All right, so those are some of the local stories. Let's take a look at the satellite image. Here's what's going on out there this morning.
Yeah.
And what does that mean to us?
It looks good for this weekend, all the events that you just covered, because we're looking at partly cloudy tomorrow and mid-80s, mid-70s, and cloudy skies on Sunday, so it's going to be very comfortable.
Yeah.
But sunshine today, high of about 78, so spring has sprung. We're flirting between upper 70s and low to mid-80s. Yeah, kind of typical. At least we're seasonal.
Here we go.
Okay. Well, here's a topic of conversation that we never get tired of talking about, or now seems to be utilizing more and more, and that's AI. Oh, yeah. Well, we have Cody Sanchez, a founder of Contrarian Thinking Capital, and he talked with Fox Business about how artificial intelligence is transforming workflows and driving innovation in Main Street enterprises.
This is the first generation where we're starting to have 65-year-old, on average, business owners transition to the next generation of youth that are open to things like AI implementation in their business. You know, I love my parents dearly, but my 68-year-old father is not going to implement an iPhone in his business, more or less Claude or Perplexity. And so I think what we're seeing is these new young owners of these old businesses are implementing. Simultaneously, they don't have all the bureaucratic red tape of the big companies and all the security concerns. And so, of course, business owners are smart and commonsensically, they're going to do anything that allows them to make more money because small businesses have tight margins overall. So I think this is just starting.
Okay. I think there's more willingness on the part of all ages to use AI as each day unfolds in front of us, and we see how it can be used and can be a time saver and see its limitations. Because it has limitations.
Its limitations is based upon your knowledge of what you're doing.
Boom. Yep.
If you don't know what you're doing with AI, you're automatically in trouble.
Yep.
If you know what you're doing and how you're using it, it can be a great resource. But I would say it's great for everything except for social interchange and commentary.
And writing the weather.
Well,
I've tried. It doesn't work.
Well, the other thing is, you got to remember one thing about AI.
What?
You are talking to a machine.
Yes. Yes.
At the end of the day, AI has been programmed. Now, it's an amazing program.
Yeah.
It's kind of like counter-produces itself. I mean, it's storing and it is a technological miracle, really.
Yes.
Okay, but at the end of the day, it's been programmed by humans.
Exactly. Yes, it has.
And you got to remember that.
Yes. Yeah.
And when you go there, they start to build a data bank on you. Okay, remember that. Okay, and your phone now is no longer. Your phone is. It's kind of like your phone.
Yeah.
Your phone is a blessing and a curse.
Yes, it is. Yes.
Your phone can put you in touch with anything you want to do, anything.
Right.
But folks, you have to really be on another planet to think that this isn't listening to you.
Right, right.
It is listening to you.
Yeah. Well, you know, we've commented on this before.
Yes.
We revolt to the thought of chipping people. You know, putting a microchip on.
You already have
it's the market. Yeah, we're carrying it, aren't we?
Yeah, you're already carrying it, and we've had this thing called Siri around for a long time.
Yeah.
That's AI with a voice.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
But all we have to do is say, let's see here.
What?
Let's see. I'm thinking about buying an airplane. Okay.
Oh, yeah.
I'll guarantee you before the end of the show, I'm going to have airplane ads.
Get ready for the ads. They are coming.
Okay, we'll be right back.
Okay.
We'll be right back.
I hear you singing over me. I once was lost. the Southern Oregon Repertory Singers bring 2 stunning world premieres to the SOU Music Recital Hall, May 9th and 10th. Featuring more than 70 choral voices, orchestra, and internationally renowned baritone Christopherin Nomura, this concert is the grand finale of their 40th season. Experience the power and excitement of new musical journeys with the Southern Oregon Repertory Singers. For tickets, visit repsingers.org. That's repsingers.org.
Come fall in love with Northridge Senior Living, where contemporary, sunlit interiors meet old world elegance. Walk through our lovely hallways and enjoy the fun staff-led activities. Forge lasting friendships with other residents and our exceptional caregivers. Dine in style. Gather near the fireplace under breathtaking chandeliers. Our reasonably priced apartments are spacious with private balconies. Northridge is Christian-owned and operated, pet-friendly, and only 2 blocks from Asante Rogue Regional Medical Center. On-site, in-home care is available. We also offer senior adult daycare, where your loved one can spend the day with us and the evenings with you. Northridge Senior Living. Your home.
Sometimes we're the hardest on ourselves. We replay our mistakes, carry guilt, expect perfection. But God's grace isn't like that, and He's extending an invitation to you today to receive that grace. His mercies are new every morning, and that includes for you too. So, get rid of that inner critic and just feel God's grace. He's renewing your love and letting you shine through it.
All right, welcome back. 25 minutes before the hour on a beautiful Friday morning. Don't forget, as we're heading into the weekend, Sunday is
Mother's Day all day. Don't forget it.
Don't forget it. That's why we're sitting in the flower patch this morning.
In fact, today's the day to not forget it.
Yeah, because tomorrow you won't find a parking spot inside the place you think you're going to get something from Mom.
That's true.
So, swing by your favorite place.
Yeah.
Four Seasons out there. Tim has all those hanging baskets you see all over the cities,
Mm-hmm.
So I don't know if he has. I think he has smaller versions out there, but the big ones go to the cities. But anyway, that's a nice place. Grange Co-op. You can go to Grange Co-op. I was in Grange Co-op the other day.
Uh-huh.
I could not find a parking place.
No.
I had to park on the street. No. And I was going in for dog food, okay? And the rest of the place was all in the nursery area.
Yeah, okay. Well, you mentioned the lines that could happen if you go shopping tomorrow. Now, if you by chance, if you go to See's Candies tomorrow, one of the good things about being in line.
Go to See's Candies today.
Yeah, either day. And if there is a line for them, do not buy. Get in that line with your goods that you're going to buy, because they come by with free samples in the line. In the line!
Yeah.
While you're waiting to check out. This is awesome.
You know how he knows that? Because he picks up something, stands in line, gets the free sample, puts the bag of something down, and walks out. He just went in for a free piece of candy.
It's called grazing.
But See's Candy, at least the one here, they'll open up the second register on a day like today.
Oh, sure.
Yep. But you can't go wrong with See's Candy.
No, that's true.
So if you went to the Grange or you went to See's Candy, I mean, if you're really doing it,
Yeah. Yep. Yeah.
And on the See's Candy thing, get what you like, because there's a high probability your wife won't eat it.
This is where you get the truth every day.
Okay, let's check in with CBN News and get caught up on the latest. Here's CBN News.
We could learn as soon as today whether Iran will agree to come back to the negotiating table.
They want to make a deal. We've had very good talks over the last 24 hours. And it's very possible that we'll make a deal.
President Trump told Fox News that he's cautiously optimistic that U.S. and Iran could agree on a one-page memorandum that calls for 30 days of talks. That includes Iran surrendering its enriched uranium, the U.S. sanctions, and reopening the Strait of Hormuz. He also issued a one-week ultimatum, posting on X that if they don't agree, the bombing starts.
We've had some good talks before, as you know. Right. And all of a sudden, the next day, they're like, they forgot what happened.
NBC News reports that Trump's sudden cancellation of the operation escorting vessels through the Strait of Hormuz came as a result of Saudi Arabia suspending U.S. military access in their country. According to the report, Trump angered and surprised some Gulf allies when he announced Project Freedom on social media without advance notification.
We maintain continuous contact with our friends in the United States. I speak with President Trump almost on a daily basis.
While a new Israeli poll shows most citizens believe ending the war with Iran now contradicts their security interests, Israeli Prime Minister Netanyahu says his country is in lockstep with U.S. efforts in the region. Netanyahu convened with a security cabinet late Wednesday, announcing the first strike in Beirut in more than a month. The Israeli Defense Forces reported the strike eliminated the commander of Hezbollah's Radwan force, who it says was behind the ongoing attacks in northern Israel.
This is my instruction to the IDF and our security forces. Israel is stronger than ever. Iran and its proxies are weaker than ever.
Economically, the news of potential peace talks resulted in sinking oil prices and a surging stock market. Iran is also cutting its oil production due to storage shortages caused by the U.S. blockade. And in Iran, more death sentences carried out by the regime. The Jerusalem Post reports 3 prisoners executed over the weekend after being forced to confess to crimes they didn't commit, including espionage for the Zionist regime. In letters to a human rights group, the 3 telling stories of physical and psychological torture, and one reporting threats against his wife if he didn't confess. None of their families were notified of the executions, denying them a last visit as mandated in Iranian law.
Paul's with us now to continue our coverage. So, Paul, what more can you tell us about these executions in Iran?
Good morning, Ephraim. Yeah, it's heart-wrenching, but unfortunately nothing new. You know, Iranian authorities have been accused by human rights groups of subjecting prisoners to severe torture, before their executions. And this is another perfect example. The Jerusalem Post reporting that before their executions, the prisoners describe being subjected to both physical as well as psychological torture inside the prison. Post shared letters and phone calls made by the prisoners to a human rights group before their deaths. Now, one of the men wrote that interrogators threatened to intensify the torture of his wife until he agreed to confess to working with Mossad, a charge the Iranian legal system calls corruption on earth. Now, according to the report, one prisoner said many things were dictated to him and that he wrote untruths so the abuse of his wife would stop. Another prisoner was actually a law school graduate and said they were being denied basic legal rights and did not receive fair trials before their death sentences were carried out. The prisoners themselves reported they didn't even know that they were about to be executed when they spoke to human rights activists just days earlier. Ephraim.
Let's turn now to the peace talks. What does the U.S. want from Iran?
Yeah, we've been hearing for quite some time, but let's break it down once again for you. The U.S. Pushing Iran to accept a deal that would limit or freeze this uranium enrichment program in exchange for sanctions relief. Washington also wants Iran to stop threatening shipping through Hormuz and allow maritime traffic to move freely again. Now, as I mentioned in the story earlier, the report that President Trump had warned that if diplomacy fails, well, the U.S. could resume large-scale military strikes against Iranian targets. U.S. officials have indicated that their main objective here, largely unchanged. They want to weaken Iran ballistic missile capabilities, naval threats, and nuclear infrastructure altogether. The Wall Street Journal reporting both sides are now working toward talks to end the fighting, but there are still more major disagreements over enrichment and security guarantees.
Why did the Saudis suspend military access to their country?
Yeah, this is developing here. Saudi Arabia reportedly refusing to allow U.S. military aircraft to use Prince Sultan Air Base or Saudi airspace for operations connected to the Strait of Hormuz. Our reports indicate that Riyadh did not want to be drawn directly into regional war with Iran. Saudi leaders also are all concerned that openly assisting U.S. military operations, well, that can make the kingdom a target for Iranian retaliation or attacks on its energy infrastructure. Saudis have recently tried to improve relations with Iran through diplomatic channels, and it appears to be trying to balance that with their longstanding security relationship with Washington. Reports also suggest that Kingdom prefers a diplomatic solution rather than a broader military escalation that could destabilize the Gulf region and threaten global oil markets.
Well, a lot going on there. The human rights violation in Iran is beyond human comprehension, and yet it's happening. And then when you do all these human rights organizations around the world, it's almost like crickets. Nothing's being said. UN is totally deaf to all this stuff.
Well,
it's just amazing.
And then we look at the actions or the inactions of the UN. And now remember, Iran is on the Human Rights Council.
Oh,
imagine.
It's just okay. Anyway, nonsense on steroids. That's why we have coconut cream pie. That's the white stuff on his nose.
Here's a look at our forecast from Grange Co-op. Today in northern Oregon and southern Washington, including Vancouver, Portland, Wilsonville, and McMinnville, mostly cloudy through mid-morning, then gradually becoming sunny with highs in the low 70s. Moving down the Willamette Valley, mostly cloudy, then gradually becoming sunny with high temperatures in the low 70s for Salem, Albany, and Corvallis, and near 75 in Eugene with a light southwest wind. In central Oregon, mostly sunny in mid to upper 70s around Prineville, decreasing clouds becoming sunny in low to mid 70s for Bend and Sun River, mostly sunny and nice in low 80s in Boise, Idaho. Along the Oregon coast, patchy fog, then sunny in mid-60s in Coos Bay. Mostly cloudy, gradually becoming sunny from Port Orford with a high near 61, through Brookings near 56, and Crescent City, California near 60. In southern Oregon, sunny to mostly sunny for the Rogue Valley with highs in the low 80s for Grants Pass and Medford and near 77 in Ashland. Sunny across the Klamath Basin with highs in the mid-70s. Into northern California, sunny skies from Wairika with a high near 81 through Redding and Chico with high temperatures near 89. Mostly cloudy over in Fort Bragg, then gradually becoming sunny with a high near 58. In the Bay Area, patchy fog, then becoming sunny in low 80s for Santa Rosa and upper 70s in Napa. Sunny in San Francisco with a high in the upper 60s, and patchy fog, then sunny and 77 in San Jose. Central California will see plenty of sunshine today with daytime highs in the mid-80s from Sacramento through Stockton and Modesto, and into the low 90s for Fresno, Visalia, and Bakersfield. It's a snapshot of your Friday weather from Grange Co-op.
A look back this morning at some presidential history. As on this day in 1884, a future president was born in Missouri, and few could have predicted the path ahead for Harry S. Truman.
Truman came from humble beginnings and never graduated from college, making him the last American president without a degree. He worked on farms, served in World War I, and even ran a failed haberdashery before entering politics. But his reputation for honesty carried him all the way to the White House. He was a very unexpected pick by FDR as his vice presidential candidate in 1944. Then in 1945, after Roosevelt's death, Truman suddenly became president during the final months of World War II. Just months later, he made one of the most consequential decisions in history, authorizing the use of atomic bombs on Japan, helping end the war while ushering in the nuclear age. Truman later helped launch the Marshall Plan to rebuild Europe and earned a reputation for his blunt, plain-spoken style. And here is one fun fact. What does the S in Harry S. Truman stand for? Well, when he was born, his parents could not decide whether to honor his paternal grandfather, Anderson Shipp Truman, or his maternal grandfather, Solomon Young, with a middle name. To resolve this, they chose the letter S as a compromise. His middle name really was just the letter S.
Really?
Yes, Harry S. Truman. That says it all. Yeah.
Okay, here's one more date to throw in there.
All right, what?
May 14th.
What?
1948.
Okay.
He was the president that allowed Israel to have its own nation.
That's right.
So was it providential for him to become president?
Yeah, I think so.
Okay,
Yes.
so we had National Day of Prayer yesterday. Okay, we have Mother's Day coming up.
Yep.
On the 17th, we'll have this Day of Prayer and dedication of the United States, rededicating the United States as one nation under God. But prior to that, on the 15th and the 16th, the president's called for a day of Sabbath for the Jewish community. But the day before that is the 14th, and that will be Israel's 78th birthday.
Wow. Wow.
Okay?
Yeah.
So, and it's because of him.
Yes, absolutely.
Pretty interesting.
Yeah.
All right, Catherine Butler from Crossways. Here's one. How to share your kids to, or how to help your kids to run to Jesus when they make a mistake.
As much as we may yearn to make the right decision and do the right thing all the time, this is impossible for us. We are far short of the glory of God. We lack his wisdom. We lack his omniscience. His ways are so much higher than our ways. And even more importantly, we are finite and fallen. We are born in sin, and this side of heaven, sin still scourges us, even while we are free in Christ. So as a result, we are always going to fail at some point, to make the wrong choice, to mess up, even as we try with all of our might to do the opposite. And yet, take heart. When you make decisions that don't turn out the way you hope or expect, know that in Christ there is forgiveness. In 1 John, we read that if we confess our sins, he is faithful and just to forgive us our sins and cleanse us of all unrighteousness. In Christ, we have forgiveness. No matter what mistakes we make, no matter how many errors we commit, in him, because of the cross, when we place our faith in Christ, he removes our sins from us as far as the east is from the west. And so if you find that you make the wrong decision, take heart and know that we all do. When that happens, run to Jesus. Place your trust in him. And know that when you do, you are embarking upon the greatest adventure of all, a personal relationship with the living God who made heaven and earth and who gave his one and only Son for sinners. All those who have faith in him do not perish but have eternal life, no matter the mistakes they make.
Well, the kids won't know unless you sit them down and talk to them.
That's right.
All right, good stuff all around. We'll take a quick banana cream. No, excuse me, coconut cream.
Thank you.
Coconut cream.
Okay.
Take here. Wipe it off.
The threat of wildfire poses a growing risk to Oregonians. You can prepare now by taking 3 important steps. Create a home inventory, make copies of important financial records, and contact your insurance company to make sure you have the right amounts and types of home insurance coverage. Be wildfire ready by being insurance ready. Visit dfr.oregon.gov/prepare now to learn how.
Stewardship begins with the knowledge that nothing belongs to us, but everything belongs to the Lord. This helps us to run a business not in the fear of lack, but in the assurance of his care and provision. Such a perspective eliminates the drive to sell and replaces it with a heart that says serve. This begins with serving our clients and coworkers with integrity and genuine care. That's why McKelly's is automotive service with a heart for God and treating others as we ourselves would want to be treated. Our promise is to never sell our clients anything we don't believe they need. Another is to do all we can to meet other needs, such as shuttle service and loaner cars, or taking the time to really listen, even at times praying with our customers. Sometimes this means sacrifice, going above and beyond. But that's why I work for Kelly's Automotive Service, honoring God while serving people with honesty and integrity.
Have you seen Mornings on the Dove?
Another attempt on President Trump's life over the weekend. I think they hate this man so much that at any cost, at any excuse, any way, they want him gone. I think the real reason here is that he's taken 60 years of the slow evolution of the democratic stronghold in America with corruption and fraud and the advancement of socialism and turned it upside down.
Wake up to information. Mornings on the Dove, weekdays.
All right, welcome back. 8 minutes before the top of the hour. Yesterday, National Day of Prayer, I had Dr. Robert Jeffress on. He will be one of the main speakers coming up at the mall on the 17th for the rededication of America. But anyway, he talked about yesterday, as we were praying about various things, the importance to get out and vote.
The reason voting is important is, unlike biblical times in which a leader was imposed upon the people, you didn't choose who the emperor was, you didn't choose who the king was, all you could do was obey, Paul said in 1 Timothy 2. But John Jay, who was the first Chief Justice of our Supreme Court, said, God has given us the privilege in this Christian nation of choosing our leaders. And Perry, that means every time we go into the voting booth, we're either casting a vote for righteousness or for unrighteousness. And when we sit home, as 50% of Christians do, what we're basically saying is, I couldn't care less about the moral and spiritual direction of our country. It's imperative. It's part of our stewardship to cast a vote. And I think a lot of people, Perry, are confused. They don't like this candidate because he, doesn't do this or doesn't do that and so forth. The purpose, the God-ordained purpose of government is not to bring a revival to the nation. We're not looking for a political leader to do that. That's the church's responsibility. When we cast a vote, we are casting a vote for the person who best is able to fulfill the biblical role of government. When I look at Scripture, I see two responsibilities of government. One is to protect citizens against evildoers. That's Romans chapter 13. Government is an avenger of those who do evil. And the second responsibility of government is to protect our right to worship. 1 Timothy 2 says, pray that we can live quiet and tranquil lives in all godliness and dignity. Translated, pray that the government will just leave us alone to practice our faith. And so I'm looking for leaders who will protect us and who will protect our freedom of worship. And that's the qualification for being a government leader.
There you go. So it is a privilege unlike any other in the world, and it's a moral obligation for being a citizen of this country.
Amen.
All right.
Yep.
What do you got there?
All right. Well, after a devastating tornado ripped through Enid, Oklahoma, one family found themselves trapped beneath the rubble of their own home with no way out.
The Sloat family had taken shelter in their cellar as a powerful storm tore everything apart above them. When it was over, debris had collapsed over the cellar door, sealing them inside. But help came from an unlikely source. Their two goats, Percy and Penny. The family feared the animals had been killed in the storm until they heard faint goat noises above them. What they didn't realize was that the goats had survived and were standing directly on top of the debris pile covering the cellar. When rescuers arrived, the goats caught their attention and helped lead them to exactly where the family was trapped. Soon, the Sloats were safely pulled from the wreckage. A remarkable rescue story made possible by two stubborn little heroes with hooves.
With hooves.
Yeah, well.
It's a good thing we don't have tornadoes around here. We don't have cellars.
No, we are. People would have fins.
Yeah. Oh, gosh.
Oh, gosh. All right, take with you Psalm chapter 30, verse 5. For his anger lasts only a moment, but his favor lasts a lifetime. Weeping may endure for the night, but rejoicing comes in the morning. Sooner or later, you cycle through your problem. Hang in there. We'll be right back.
Mom makes everything a little better. This Mother's Day, let her know. At Grange Co-op, we've got beautiful 10-inch hanging baskets for just $29.99. Jumbo annual packs are $5 each when you buy 2 or more, and select denim is 40% off. Plus, join us for our free Paint-A-Pot event Saturday, May 9th from 10 to 2. Find more deals at grangecoop.com or just scan the QR code. Grange Co-op, your Mother's Day destination, now through May 10th.
Applegate River Golf and RV Resort, a pristine 9-hole course alongside the Applegate River. Their clubhouse offers a golf simulator experience. The RV Resort is adjacent to the golf course with convenient pull-through parking. Applegate River Golf and RV Resort. Information at applegaterv.com.
I'm Susanna, and I contracted KA Designs to do custom cabinets throughout my house. We chose a really beautiful maple wood that really creates like a nice airy space. Everything was custom, and it was really cool because I got to literally see it come to life in person. We love to entertain, and we have a large family, so everything came together perfectly, exactly what I wanted. I highly suggest KA Designs if you're looking to design your dream house. Go check them out in their showroom. You will not be disappointed.
Over time, every wall tells a story, but sometimes those stories need a fresh start. At Chris Silva Painting, we specialize in transforming indoor spaces, whether it's your family home or your business workspace. With premium paints, flexible scheduling, and expert attention to detail, we make the process simple and stress-free so you can focus on what matters most, living and working in a space you love. From bold new colors to subtle tones of sophistication, let Chris Silva Painting bring your vision to life, one wall at a time. Chris and his crew are courteous, they're efficient, organized, timely, and clean. Chris Silva Painting also offers military discounts. At Chris Silva Painting, our mission statement is to bring Christ's heart and principles to our customers and our job sites. We do that with honesty, integrity, and hard work. We don't cut corners, we paint them. CCB number 176097. Chris Silva Painting, 541-890-3960. 541-890-3960.
Being in business is challenging. At Network in Action Southern Oregon, we're all about real connection and real growth. We value your time with once-a-month meetings and believe in transformational relationships rather than transactional ones. We have 3 groups in the Valley, a Christian group, a Medford group, and a Grants Pass group, all filled with amazing local professionals. Network in Action Southern Oregon, so much more than just networking. Find out more at sonetworking.com.
To all our mothers of all ages, a happy Mother's Day from the Dove TV, encouraging and informative. Good morning. You're tuned to the Dove, encouraging and informative, helping Oregon, Northern California, Idaho, and Nevada start the day with news and encouragement. This is Mornings on the Dove.
Well, good morning to you. Happy Friday. Welcome to Mornings on the Dove. It took us 4 days to get here.
But it was worth the wait.
And you wonder why we're sitting in the flower patch this morning?
Oh, it's a beautiful place to be.
Well, it's because
Sunday
is
Mother's Day.
Don't forget.
Don't forget, yeah.
So we're sitting in the flower patch. Isn't that pretty?
Yeah.
They're beautiful.
It is a lovely place to be.
And you know what's interesting? That actually looks like it's our backyard because of the hills and the clouds. Mm-hmm. And it kind of is. We're just not telling you where it is. Because we don't want you to come and visit. We want it all to ourselves. Okay. Anyway, there it is. And good morning to you. Are you ready to do the close-up? Okay. Hey.
What?
It's Mother's Day, right?
Yeah.
Let's do a close-up of the flowers. Look at this.
Okay. Oh, whoa. That's flowers on steroids right
about
there.
that?
Yeah, that's something.
Now, the reason we're doing that is to make a statement for all you children out there, you boys and girls and husbands. Sunday is Mother's Day. So if you're smart, and I'll let you answer that, you'll take care of their mom today.
Yeah.
Because tomorrow there will be nothing left.
I got a question for you. I was talking to somebody just a couple years ago.
Yeah.
And I asked, you got something special planned for your wife for Mother's Day? And he looked at me and he had a funny look on his face and he said, Mother's Day, you mean the mother of my children? They're going to do something for her for Mother's Day. And I was like, oh, dude, you have missed the boat, my friend.
Okay. You didn't hand him my counseling card, did you?
I should have.
I don't do that anymore.
You and Bill Gallagher.
Yeah, Bill Gallagher's card.
Yes.
Anyway, a little close-up of the flowers this morning. We'll go back to there it is.
All right.
Beautiful.
Yeah.
So anyway, just a little reminder now, Four Seasons has them, and Grange has. I went to Grange the other day to get some dog food. I had to park on the street. It was so crowded. And all the people were in the nursery area. Okay.
Were you over here, the one White City over?
No, the one in Central Park.
Okay, all right.
You got the big one out
Oh,
there.
that's nice, yeah.
How big is that store?
It's big. It's big. It's got a huge garden center. Pam loves going out there. Yeah. Flowers and bushes. I mean, everything you could want is out there.
You could actually get lost in the store and get locked in. Yeah. You could hide in the flower department.
Check it out. So Pam's out in the garden section, and I'm clumping around in my boot, you know. Mm-hmm. I'm over in the Carhartt section looking at clothes.
Yeah, yeah.
And so I'm over there, and a guy comes walking up to me, and he goes, "Can I help you? You know, you can try anything you want." I go, "No, my wife's out in gardening. I'm just in the garden section. I'm waiting." He goes, "You're not alone."
Yeah.
I'm like, "Thanks,
so does
man."
Carhartt just make left-hand boots? Were you just looking for one boot?
Pam just bought me a new pair of Adidas. Check it out. Yeah. New pair of Adidas. And I go, well, that's great. I'm going to wear out a brand new shoe before I ever get the right one on. And it's going to be brand new.
Okay.
Oh, yeah.
All right, good stuff all the way around. Good morning to you. A lot going on in the news, but don't forget Sunday is Mother's Day.
Yes,
what do you got?
First of all, it's National Military Spouse Appreciation Day, always observed on the Friday before Mother's Day. Yeah. Probably in the past it was meant more towards, you know, wives who are home while their husbands served, but that's not the case anymore. You know, a lot of women are serving in the U.S. military. So all spouses, we appreciate you who are supporting your military other half. Also, National Student Nurse Day, part of National Nurses Week, and we've been celebrating nurses of all kinds this week, and we do it again today. It's also National Provider Appreciation Day, also known as National Child Care Provider Appreciation Day, also held on the last Friday before Mother's Day, because obviously a lot of those providers are moms.
Yeah.
So
there you go.
We're going to make a whole weekend for you.
All right.
Also, it is we got something to eat. It's National Coconut Cream Day. Celebrates its own slice of deliciousness made with a sweet coconut cream filling. Pie lovers know a thick layer of real whipped cream topped with toasted coconut makes this pie irresistible. And I think it's a favorite of many of us.
Oh, I love it.
And just as is right there. Nothing. You don't need ice cream with it. You don't need anything else.
No, just like that, right there.
Completely self-contained.
I'll tell you what. So you can have the piece. I'll have the rest.
What's such a deal? Okay, wash it down with a Coke because it is National Coke Day. Have a Coke Day. And it's because Coca-Cola first introduced to the public on this day in 1886, served at Jacob's Pharmacy in Atlanta, Georgia. Originally sold as a soda fountain beverage, a glass of Coca-Cola sold for a nickel, and the original formula was created by Dr. John S. Pemberton, a pharmacist, and was marketed as a tonic for common ailments including headaches, fatigue, and nervousness. And here we're seeing the iconic Hilltop Coca-Cola ad.
Okay, bring it up there.
It's the real thing, baby.
Classic song, and I'm surprised they haven't used it.
You know, I would expect someday they'll bring that back. I don't know, maybe at a Super Bowl. you know,
it was. Everybody hummed it, and you know what was so cool about it was when they made their mistake on the Classic.
Coke Classic, yeah. Well, the New Coke.
The New Coke.
New Coke, and they had to bring back Coke Classic,
which was one of the great recoveries of all time in marketing.
Yeah. Oh, it was pure genius if it hadn't been an accident.
Yeah.
But also, you know, the iconic Coke bottle.
Yeah.
You know, that was trademarked and designed intentionally that anybody in a dark room, pitch black, could feel a Coke and they would know it's a Coke bottle. It's because it's got that, you know, that hourglass little thing in it. And Coke was on the cover, the only beverage to ever be on the cover of Time magazine. 1950. And did you know that during World War II there was sugar rationing going on? And the U.S. military decided this helped. You know, one of the reasons Coke is so big is internationally, they are recognized like by 95% of the globe.
Yeah.
Well, the U.S. military decided that Coke was like having a slice or a piece of home in the hands of a GI.
Oh.
So they said, yes, Coke should follow the troops everywhere during World War II. Coke then got an exemption for the sugar rationing.
Oh. Well, you got all that stuff.
Everybody else couldn't make stuff, but Coke could, and they shipped it, in syrup form. So they would ship it to the front, and then they would have to build a bottling plant there to be able to put it. And it went international following U.S. troops in World War II. How about that? Thank you, U.S. government.
Well, you know, I was watching the Antique Roadshow the other day. You ever catch that?
Yes.
Every once in a while you catch it, you know.
Yep.
And this person had one of these old-fashioned Coke machines, you know. It was red.
Yeah.
And it looked like an old refrigerator, kind of round top on it, you know. And I thought, well, this is interesting. Well, apparently that particular one, not only was the serial number rare, but this thing was like in perfect condition.
Oh,
you know?
Okay.
And he says, well, it's probably somewhere between $40,000 and $60,000.
Oh my!
A Coke machine, an old Coke machine.
Yeah.
So a lot of people will collect Coke memorabilia.
Yep.
You know, signs and things like that. So.
Yep. Well, and that was a Coca-Cola innovation as well. They invented
their own machine.
Yeah.
Yeah. It had this big hand crank on it.
Yeah.
You know?
Oh man.
And the bottle came out, not a can, but a bottle.
Yeah. Right. Oh, I love it.
Oh well.
All right.
All right. So here's a guy that you crank and
I'm old.
You don't know what's going to come out of it. Maybe weather.
Here's a look at our forecast from Grange Co-op. Today in northern Oregon and southern Washington, including Vancouver, Portland, Wilsonville, and McMinnville, mostly cloudy through mid-morning, then gradually becoming sunny with highs in the low 70s. Moving down the Willamette Valley, mostly cloudy, then gradually becoming sunny with high temperatures in the low 70s for Salem, Albany, and Corvallis, and near 75 in Eugene with a light southwest wind. In central Oregon, mostly sunny and mid to upper 70s around Prineville, decreasing clouds becoming sunny and low to mid 70s for Bend and Sun River, mostly sunny and nice and low 80s in Boise, Idaho. Along the Oregon coast, patchy fog, then sunny in mid-60s in Coos Bay. Mostly cloudy, gradually becoming sunny from Port Orford with a high near 61, through Brookings near 56, and Crescent City, California near 60. In southern Oregon, sunny to mostly sunny for the Rogue Valley with highs in the low 80s for Grants Pass and Medford and near 77 in Ashland. Sunny across the Klamath Basin with highs in the mid-70s. Into northern California, sunny skies from Wairika with a high near 81 through Redding and Chico with high temperatures near 89. Mostly cloudy over in Fort Bragg, then gradually becoming sunny with a high near 58. In the Bay Area, patchy fog, then becoming sunny in low 80s for Santa Rosa and upper 70s in Napa. Sunny in San Francisco with a high in the upper 60s and patchy fog, then sunny and 77 in San Jose. Central California will see plenty of sunshine today with daytime highs in the mid-80s from Sacramento through Stockton and Modesto and into the low 90s for Fresno, Visalia, and Bakersfield. It's a snapshot of your Friday weather from Grange Co-op.
Beautiful day out there and more sunshine poking through those clouds, and that's a great shot from looks like from the top of Baldy, Roxanne area, looking right out towards the northeast.
Yes. Well, here's an interesting question posed by Alistair Biggs, and he asks, what is your philosophy of life?
All of us somehow have got to answer fundamental questions. Who am I? Where did I come from? And where am I going? And if we don't have a philosophy of life that is able to give us substantive answers to those questions, then it's probably time that we went looking for them. Trying to make sense of the jigsaw puzzle of life without a picture on the front of the box, and with the distinct impression that a lot of those pieces from the jigsaw are missing, it's just an exercise in futility. And into that reality, if we're going to go to the scriptures, we recognize that God who made us is sovereign over the affairs of life. That means that the good, the bad, and the ugly is all under his jurisdiction. And when we come to terms with that, it doesn't mean that somehow or another we throw up our hands and say, que sera, sera, whatever will be, will be. But we do exercise the privileges that are ours in the structures of life, in the awareness of the fact that what God is doing in the world is often largely beyond our ability to comprehend. The Christian is able to say, the God who made me has plans and purposes for me. Those plans may well include pain, disappointment, almost inevitably bereavement. But am I going to take them from the hand of a Father who is sovereignly working out all his plans and purposes for his world according to the eternal counsel of his will? That's why I think the Christian story is really worthy of serious consideration.
You could take that little clip and share it with anybody.
Yep.
Powerful. All right, 13 minutes past the hour. Let's take a look at some of the top stories on this Friday morning. And we've heard this headline before, and I don't mean that in a sarcastic way. It's just here we are again, where the president has announced that we are, or could be, 1 week away from a peace deal with Iran. Well, okay, what is it this time? We don't know. Apparently there's been a one-page peace deal thrown on the table, and they're looking at it. So I don't know one way or the other. Yeah. In the meantime, the president has pushed the pause button on Project Freedom, which was going to be an escort service for certain ships to get in and out of the Strait. And that has now been pushed aside. By the way, Saudi Arabia kind of got involved in that. Saudi Arabia said to the president that they weren't going to allow some of their docks and areas to be used. So I don't know what that's all about.
I don't either.
So, and supposedly Saudi Arabia is momentarily an ally.
Yeah.
I say that respectfully.
Yeah, momentarily.
Okay. But in the meantime, all of that is now back on the table. By the way, we're still in a ceasefire. And it's redefined. It's a ceasefire. You shoot at me, I shoot at you. Yeah. So they shot at us, and we shot back. But we're in a ceasefire.
Yeah. Well, part of the reason for that ceasefire is the Trump administration is arguing to Congress that the War Powers Resolution Act doesn't apply here. It has a 60-day limit. And so when did they call the ceasefire? April 7th or something like that? Yeah. So it went on hold at that time. And it, it's a small little inconvenience that we're shooting at each other occasionally, in violation of that ceasefire. But, first of all, is the War Powers Act even constitutional? Because it is being argued by some, including Secretary of State Marco Rubio, that this is not a lawful act. And it has had a number of presidents in the past, both Republican and Democrat, just say it doesn't apply here. It doesn't apply to me. Clinton did it, and Obama did it as well. They both went beyond it.
Well, yeah, and so is the declaration of war.
Yeah.
So the whole thing is ambiguous at the moment because we don't have any history of it being respected and applied.
Right.
So anyway, in the meantime, the Secretary of State's flying all over the world and trying to, bring about, this agreement now where they're going to hopefully meet maybe in a week. But on his way there, he stopped off in Italy and had a little meeting with the Pope. And that was kind of like his ability to sit down and say, could we smooth things over with the Pope? Because the Pope and the President are not buddies right now. And it's kind of like when the King came here from the UK to smooth things over, because the President and Parliament in the UK were not getting along. And so the Pope and the President have exchanged, I would say, challenging words with each other.
Yes.
About the war in Iran. So Marco Rubio, who's a Catholic, stopped off at the Vatican and had a little powwow with the Pope. I don't know if it went anywhere.
How does that work for Marco Rubio?
Well, he got the blessing he wanted.
This is the head. He got the. This is the head of the church.
Yeah, you got a blessing from the Pope. That's a pretty cool deal.
Yeah, and he works for the head of the country.
Yeah, he's
and they're at odds with each other. Those two heads. So how does some diplomacy going on here?
Well, there's another makes this even stickier.
What?
The Pope's an American.
Exactly, and he won't
Chicago.
And he won't come to America until Trump is out of office.
Okay. I understand that part.
You know what we should? What? Okay.
But anyway.
But he gave him a crystal football or something like that.
He gave him this ball. It looked like it was a crystal football for the Chicago Bears.
Yeah.
I guess.
Well, that's what he should do. He should stay out.
But he should have gave him a Cubs hat or something because he was a Cub fan.
Well, either way, Cubs or Bears. You say, well, you can come back to America when they're in the championship game. He's not coming back.
You ever wonder why you're not Secretary of State?
Okay.
I don't even think you'd be head of the diplomatic corps for the National Baseball League. Okay.
Enough said.
All right, there we go. In the meantime, Iran is trying to create what they call a governing agency to tax vessels and vet vessels as they're passing through the strait. What? This is an because they're already shooting at each other.
Yeah, exactly.
So anyway, I don't know what Iran is trying to flex a muscle. We're trying to figure out which one it is. Okay, so there you go.
Yeah.
In the meantime, the president has rearranged the EU. I mean, he's pretty much shaken the world. But he basically said to the president of the EU, as they had a nice little, was he calling it a great call yesterday, guys are nice, but if you don't pay your end of the deal, you're going to get tariffed to death on July 4th. And the interesting thing about the president, he does do what he says he's going to do, but he also has the power to delay it.
Yeah.
So he's known for doing it, but he's also known for delaying it. Kind of like, you know, the Operation Freedom thing, Project Freedom. Yeah. So anyway, he's got the EU kind of hanging out there, so we'll see where that's going to go. EU, I don't know what good the EU is.
Yeah, I don't know.
Anyway, in the meantime, a shake-up in the UK. Wow, it looks like the Farage party, if I can put it that way. He is the guy that did Brexit, you know, and in the UK, and the UK's in serious trouble socially. They are in serious trouble if they don't stop this nonsense and allowing the Islamic takeover of their country. Anyway, but apparently what they're equivalent to what we call midterm elections. There's over 5,000 local races that are being decided as we speak, and probably some of these will be decided through the weekend. And there's a lot of people not only leaving their party, voting against their party, but leaning towards a more conservative face for Parliament, which means it's possible they could call for an election and oust Starnes and get Farage in.
Yes.
Anyway, it's a big change. Maybe the UK citizens, our Brits, our fellow, what are they? Our cousins, aren't they?
Yeah, I think so, yeah.
Waking up anyway, here's what Farage had to say about yesterday's victories.
The pattern that's emerging over the country is that Labour are being wiped out by reform in many of their most traditional areas. And what you're going to see later on today is the Conservative Party being wiped out in their heartlands like Essex. So London goes a bit against the trend in that the Conservatives and Labour have held up in some of the other boroughs. But I think overall what's happened is a truly historic shift in British politics. We've been so used to thinking about politics in terms of left and right. And yet what Reform are able to do is to win in areas that have always been conservative, but equally, we're proving in a big way, we can win in areas that Labour have dominated, frankly, since the end of World War I. At the moment, we're winning 1 in 3 of all the seats that are up, but I genuinely think the best is yet to come. I'm very excited about the North East results, the Yorkshire results, some more to come in the West Midlands. Essex, we're feeling supremely confident, and that's significant given that half the Cheddar Cabinet have seats in Essex. So it's a big, big day. It's a big, big day, not just for our party, but for a complete reshaping of British politics in every way.
Wow, pretty amazing.
Okay, and we'll know through the weekend as more and more of these election results come about. All right, those are some of the top stories right here on the Morning News, and we're going to take a
coconut cream pie.
Break.
Yeah.
I don't see one over there.
I know.
I'm imagining.
Stale donuts are over there.
Mom makes everything a little better. This Mother's Day, let her know. At Grange Co-op, we've got beautiful 10-inch hanging baskets for just $29.99. Jumbo annual packs are $5 each when you buy 2 or more, and select denim is 40% off. Plus, join us for our free Paint-A-Pot event Saturday, May 9th from 10 to 2. Find more deals at GrangeCoop.com or just scan the QR code. Grange Co-op, your Mother's Day destination, now through May 10th.
Come fall in love with Northridge Senior Living, where contemporary, sunlit interiors meet old world elegance. Walk through our lovely hallways and enjoy the fun staff-led activities. Forge lasting friendships with other residents and our exceptional caregivers. Dine in style. Gather near the fireplace under breathtaking chandeliers. Our reasonably priced apartments are spacious with private balconies. Northridge is Christian-owned and operated, pet-friendly, and only 2 blocks from Asante Rogue Regional Medical Center. On-site, in-home care is available. We also offer senior adult daycare, where your loved one can spend the day with us and the evenings with you. Northridge Senior Living, your home.
The Dove TV is pleased to announce we're now seen in the San Francisco, Oakland, San Jose area via a new full-power TV station, KEDB, seen on cable, satellite TV, and over the air. The Dove TV, encouraging and informative for San Francisco, Oakland, and the San Jose area on new full-power KEDB TV.
Okay, welcome back. 24 minutes past the hour. Some backyard news. As you know, Oregon had got caught, so to speak. Even the Secretary of State admitted there's about 800,000 votes casted in the election cycle in the state that were people that were unidentified, dead, gone, couldn't be handled. In the meantime, Judicial Watch sued the state to clean up their voter files, which every state should clean up their voter files. And apparently it started but wasn't being done forcefully. And so they have come to a compromise where the Secretary of State announced that they would, over the next 5 years, begin to report that they're cleaning up the voter files in the state of Oregon. I don't know what kind of a compromise that is, but here's the deal. The 2023 election report showed that 19 of the Oregon's 36 counties had not removed any votes from the 2020 to 2020 election cycle, and 10 other counties had removed fewer than 11 people from the votes. So it's not being taken seriously. Now, this compromise from the lawsuit is going to force some kind of action, and the Secretary of State's going to have to follow it through at all 36 county levels. But the number 800,000 is significant, and every state should be forced to clean up their voter rolls. So we'll see where this goes. That's a little bit of a compromise there. Some backyard news. The Southern Oregon Repertoire of Repertory Singers. This is an outstanding organization. They're holding their big concert tomorrow night and Sunday afternoon. It'll be held there at the Southern Oregon University campus under the direction of Peter Ralph. And, well, it's just some of the best right here in Southern Oregon. And a little bit of music that you'll see, but orchestra and choir and everything should be pretty outstanding thing. I think it's sold out. It may be a few tickets left. Again, tomorrow night, 7:30, Mother's Day at 2 in the afternoon. You can go to tickets at repssingers.org and check that out. Okay. The other thing is the city of Medford is going to turn downtown Medford into a big playground. Oh. For adults and kids. Oh. It's called Art in Bloom. It's a community celebration, art, horticulture, food, live music, children's activity. A lot of young people being young entrepreneurs with their wares. And that'll all be downtown where they shut the main street down and away it goes. And it's an annual thing. And so if you're out and about on Saturday from 9 to 11 and Sunday from 11 to 4. So there you go. You might be able to find something for Mom downtown at the Arts in Bloom.
There you go. Don't hesitate. Go do it.
Yeah.
Yes.
You know, anyway, we don't need to see you in counseling.
Or in the doghouse.
Okay. There you go. All right, quickly, let's take a look at Wall Street on this Friday morning. Thank you, Preston. He has smart lawn, and you'll never mow that sucker again. It'll be green forever. Anyway, the Dow's up 60, almost 61 points. The Nasdaq's up 315. The S&P, which drives everything, is up about 50 points. So a nice solid start to the last day of the week. A lot of green ink there. Let's take a look at gold. Is still hanging in there. It's up to 47.53. Silver at 82. And crude oil is down, but back up a little bit. It's at 99.97.
Okay.
So there you go.
All right. Well, we know that artificial intelligence is upon us.
Oh, yeah.
And it's merging its way into workplaces. And I think we think of a lot of big companies are using it first.
Yeah.
How about smaller businesses, like what we might refer to as Main Street enterprises? Is it going into the workflow there as well?
Yeah, it is.
I think so.
It's creeping in.
Yep. Well, Cody Sanchez, founder of Contrarian Thinking Capital, talked about this on Fox Business. Let's listen.
This is the first generation where we're starting to have 65-year-old, on average, business owners transition to the next generation of youth that are open to things like AI implementation in their business. You know, I love my parents dearly, but my 68-year-old father is not going to implement an iPhone in his business, more or less Claude or Perplexity. And so I think what we're seeing is these new young owners of these old businesses are implementing. Simultaneously, they don't have all the bureaucratic red tape of the big companies and all the security concerns. And so, of course, business owners are smart, and commonsensically, they're going to do anything that allows them to make more money, because small businesses have tight margins overall. So I think this is just starting.
Well, listen, AI is here. It's not going to go away. And the question is, you need to be aware of it. You need to know how it works. You need to know what you're doing. If you're relying on it to be the ultimate source of truth, you're making a huge mistake. You got to remember, AI is a machine somewhere programmed by humans. Who have biases. Now, its capabilities in science and engineering and education and journalism, all that stuff, voice work, everything, it all has great application. But if you're relying on it to do, you know, social interaction, you better really know what you're doing.
Yeah, and with all of that in mind, I think some people are a little bit worried about, you know, jobs, certain occupations becoming obsolete because of AI. But there's a hedge in certain areas in our economy, and certainly we talk about the trades.
Right.
I just read a report about electricians. I mean, regardless of what AI can do for you, it'll never wire your house.
There you go.
It'll never fix your plumbing.
Nope.
All that stuff has got to have real people. And do you know that in this country, we need around 75,000 electricians per year to enter into the field to keep up?
To keep up.
It's amazing.
Yeah, it's you need to seriously look at this, because AI is if you're, well, anyway, AI could replace you. Okay, that's a real possibility. Okay. But anyway, but that story was about old guys giving way to young guys.
I know it was. Yes. Yeah, I know. She used her father as an example, you know.
So I just want you to know, Jerry, we are replaceable.
I know we are.
The only thing missing with our wall back here, and it could be corrected.
What?
Okay, over our lighting rack here, we can put in a little circular thing there with some tape down here, and you and I could be replaced with holograph people.
Yeah, like that guy from years ago, Max Headroom. Remember the computer-generated TV host?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, there you go.
Well, you could be replaced even though you're going to be in the hospital, so I'm looking into this. And guess what? You may not have to come back to work. We'll be right back.
And I lift my hands in holy devotion to you.
Your Your yard is where life happens, but it can be muddy and hard to maintain. Enjoy a maintenance-free artificial turf lawn all year round with Smart Lawn LLC. No mowing, no fertilizing, no watering. Our synthetic grass is beautiful and resilient. It's certified to be lead-free, and there's no need for pesticides. Safe for your children and pets. Smart Lawn LLC has all your artificial turf and putting green areas covered beautifully. 541-941-3538.
When life feels heavy, your body feels it, your mind feels it. That is why I created Organic Elements Wellness Spa, a place where wellness is not a luxury, it's a way of life. Step into our wellness lounge with a Himalayan salt room, infrared sauna, steam room, and invigorating cold plunge. Restore your nervous system, detox your body, and clear your mind. Then experience customized massage, advanced skin therapies, and result-driven facials, all designed to help you look as good as you feel. There's nothing else like this in Southern Oregon. This is your space to heal, to reset, to glow. Call today to book your private wellness party for up to 15 guests or surprise someone special with a gift certificate.
Visit Organic Elements Wellness Spa on East Main Street in Medford. Book online at organicelementspa.com. Wellness is wholeness. Voted best of Southern Oregon.
Loneliness can feel heavy, even in a crowded room. But you're not truly alone. God is there with you, and He sees you. He's near, and He cares about every detail of your life. So take a quiet moment today and lean into His presence and feel His peace, His comfort, His nearness, and know that He loves you and that you're not forgotten.
Hey, how y'all doing out there? Happy Friday. Mother's Day, Sunday. Just wanted to let you know, I was sitting in the flower patch this morning, just to kind of give you a little bit of a hint.
Yes.
And See's Candy, you may want to go get in line now.
Oh, absolutely.
I think they open at 10.
And you know what? It's worth standing in line in See's Candy because they have samplers. You can be holding your chocolates ready to check, and they'll still bring you a sample.
So you get the sample, you eat it, and there's so many people in line, by the time you get to the counter, you've fallen asleep because you had the sugar high.
You're crashing. Yeah,
You're crashing.
I love it.
Anyway, check it out. All right, let's check in with CBN News and get the latest on the Middle East.
Iran targeted the U.S. warships with missile, drones, and fast attack boats. CENTCOM said U.S. forces responded in self-defense and are not seeking escalation.
We had 3 world-class destroyers go through the strait today. Any other country, under the circumstances, wouldn't have shot missiles at it and drones at it and these stupid boats that came at it. They got blown away in about 2 minutes.
President Trump insists the ceasefire remains in effect.
They trifled with us today. We blew them away. They trifled. I call that a trifle. I'll let you know when there's no ceasefire. You won't have to know. If there's no ceasefire, you're not going to have to know. You're just going to have to look at one big glow coming out of Iran. And they better sign their agreement fast.
And the president says a deal with the Islamic Republic could be close.
The talks are going very well, but they have to understand if it doesn't get signed, they're going to have a lot of pain. They're going to have a lot of pain. They want to sign it, I will tell you. They want to sign it a lot more than I do.
Also here in the Middle East, Saudi Arabia and the United Arab Emirates have agreed to restore U.S. access to bases and airspace. That move allows Washington to resume Project Freedom, the operation to escort ships through the Strait of Hormuz and counter Iran's threats to shipping. The Washington Post reports the CIA believes Iran can withstand a U.S. naval blockade for 3 to 4 months, and that Iran's current leadership is more radical and increasingly confident it can outlast the U.S. Yet another estimate says the blockade is inflicting real compounding damage and accelerating systematic economic collapse. Here in Israel, many are concerned a deal with the current Iranian Islamic regime may delay but not dismantle Tehran's nuclear threat and allow it to continue its support for proxies in the region, to recover economically, and leave in place a government still dedicated to the destruction of both the U.S., what they call the Great Satan, and Israel, what they call the Little Satan. Ephraim?
Chris, as you reported, that confidential CIA analysis estimates Iran can survive the U.S. naval blockade for months. Does this mean the blockade isn't working, or the conflict could be going into the fall?
Well, it doesn't necessarily mean that it's not working, Ephraim, but sometimes blockades like this could take time, could take weeks or months instead of just days. The blockade's designed to squeeze Iran's economy, and they're losing right now, Ephraim, about $500 million a day. In former times, you may have called this siege warfare, where they would sort of isolate, a particular enemy. The concern right now is that the regime could ride this out for several months, like the CIA report says in the Washington Post, and then extend the war into the fall. And this is obviously going to put pressure on President Trump politically as the midterms get closer and closer. So either perhaps we're going to see a deal very soon. President Trump has made set a deadline for a week. He said that a few days ago. Or we could see a major escalation.
Senator Lindsey Graham recently called for the U.S. to get guns inside Iran to arm citizens who oppose the regime. Some call this a resumption of the Reagan doctrine. Can you remind us what that doctrine is, and could it speed up the fall of Iran's ruling regime?
Well, the Reagan doctrine goes back to the anti-communist era during his administration. It was when the U.S. supported arming anti-communist movements, many times in Central America and against certain regimes. In Iran, it would mean arming these opposition groups and many ethnic groups in Iran. There's Kurds and the Baluchs, Azeris, and others. And could this lead to the regime change? There are questions. Are these groups unified? And could they be the boots on the ground that many people are talking about maybe U.S. or Israeli troops on the ground? But Senator Graham and others believe there are millions of boots on the ground right now, and that these Iranians that are opposing the regime, could they be the tipping point? Right now, we know, Ephraim, millions are praying for the fall of the regime and also praying for the underground church that we've talked about before. That is really the fastest growing church per capita in the world, and that this regime that has been oppressing these people for 47 years will eventually fall.
The Jerusalem Post is reporting the disarmament talks with Hamas are stuck. What is causing this, and can it be moved forward?
Well, we'll see if it's going to move forward. But right now, it's Hamas is refusing and has refused for months now to disarm. And this really in Gaza has been the quiet front for months. It used to be the major front, but now all the attention is certainly on Iran and Lebanon as well. And Hamas has been using this time to rearm and to regroup. And many people are concerned about this growing danger inside Gaza. And the question is, will the IDF go back into Hamas-controlled Gaza, or manage the situation, or work with the so-called Board of Peace? But right now, we're going to see no reconstruction without Hamas disarming.
Okay, we'll get back to that. But look, I think Chris made an interesting point there, and that was the underground church is the largest per capita in the world right now. There is a Christian revival going on inside Iran among Muslims, which is an amazing thing. So let us not forget that. The other thing is, do you think that the American press, what will the American press do with thousands upon guns being delivered to the citizens of Iran?
They would lose their minds. The American press would lose their mind. It's the Reagan doctrine.
Okay.
Yeah.
So do we supply the guns through Israel?
Oh.
And Israel is sitting back with the plan already in place, according to these reports, of where they're going to bomb, how they're going to bomb, and where the leadership remains.
Really?
At what point do we say, all right, sick them?
Yeah. Right.
I don't know.
I don't either.
I don't either. It's kind of interesting. All right, let's check out a guy that has coconut cream pie. He's got a piece in his pocket. He stuck it in there.
Here's a look at our forecast from Grange Co-op. Today in northern Oregon and southern Washington, including Vancouver, Portland, Wilsonville, and McMinnville, mostly cloudy through mid-morning, then gradually becoming sunny with highs in the low 70s. Moving down the Willamette Valley, mostly cloudy, then gradually becoming sunny with high temperatures in the low 70s for Salem, Albany, and Corvallis, and near 75 in Eugene with a light southwest wind. In Central Oregon, mostly sunny and mid to upper 70s around Prineville, decreasing clouds becoming sunny and low to mid 70s for Bend and Sun River, mostly sunny and nice and low 80s in Boise, Idaho. Along the Oregon coast, patchy fog, then sunny in mid-60s in Coos Bay. Mostly cloudy, gradually becoming sunny from Port Orford with a high near 61, through Brookings near 56, and Crescent City, California near 60. In southern Oregon, sunny to mostly sunny for the Rogue Valley with highs in the low 80s for Grants Pass and Medford and near 77 in Ashland. Sunny across the Klamath Basin with highs in the mid-70s. Into Northern California, sunny skies from Wairika with a high near 81 through Redding and Chico with high temperatures near 89. Mostly cloudy over in Fort Bragg, then gradually becoming sunny with a high near 58. In the Bay Area, patchy fog, then becoming sunny in low 80s for Santa Rosa and upper 70s in Napa. Sunny in San Francisco with a high in the upper 60s and patchy fog, then sunny and 77 in San Jose. Central California will see plenty of sunshine today with daytime highs in the mid-80s from Sacramento through Stockton and Modesto and into the low 90s for Fresno, Visalia, and Bakersfield. It's a snapshot of your Friday weather from Grange Co-op.
Time for a look back in this morning at presidential history, because it was on May 8th, 1884, a future president was born in Missouri, and few could have predicted the path ahead for Harry S. Truman. Truman came from humble beginnings and never graduated from college, making him the last American president without a degree. He worked on farms, served in World War I, and even ran a failed haberdashery before entering politics. But his reputation for honesty carried him all the way to the White House. He was a very unexpected pick by FDR as his vice presidential candidate in 1944. Then in 1945, after Roosevelt's death, Truman suddenly became president during the final months of World War II. Just months later, he made one of the most consequential decisions in history, authorizing the use of atomic bombs on Japan, helping end the war while ushering in the nuclear age. Truman later helped launch the Marshall Plan to rebuild Europe and earned a reputation for his blunt, plain-spoken style. And here is one fun fact. What does the S in Harry S. Truman stand for? Well, when he was born, his parents could not decide whether to honor his paternal grandfather, Anderson Shipp Truman, or his maternal grandfather, Solomon Young, with a middle name. To resolve this, they chose the letter S as a compromise. His middle name really was just the letter S. How about that?
Well, the other thing we got to remember that he's known for, he was the one against everybody giving him pressure not to do it. He allowed Israel to become a nation.
Amen.
May 14th, 1948, and he said yes to the deal. And that was a significant thing in world history, and if not prophecy. And you got to ask yourself, was he divinely and providentially put in as president?
Yes, he was. Yeah, absolutely. And it's interesting how it came about, too, because FDR actually took out a sitting vice president and didn't include him in the ticket in 1944 for the 45. And the reason was it was a guy named Henry Wallace. Henry Wallace was extreme left. And this was Roosevelt moving to the center because Truman was considered a more conservative Democrat, more level-headed, and so they got rid of Henry Wallace and moved to the center with Truman, and then Truman becomes president.
Yeah.
And then we see Israel come to existence.
Come back into a nation.
Amazing.
That's why I want to interview your good friend Alan Dershowitz again, because he announced the other day that he, after 70 years of being a Democrat, he's left the party.
Amazing.
And he went independent, but now he's actually going Republican.
Right.
So here's my question for Alan Dershowitz. You were an active, common sense Democrat, almost like a Truman Democrat.
Yes, exactly. Yes.
What happens now to the Truman type Democrats that are stuck in the party. What do they do and where do they go? And can they allow themselves to go down with the ship?
Right. And
that's the question I want to ask.
And is there so much Trump derangement syndrome that it doesn't allow them to move back to common sense middle ground?
Well, we'll see.
Oh,
I'd like to talk to him.
Yeah.
All right, good morning to you. Catherine Butler. She's with Crossway, great apologetics organization. Here's a great question, okay? How do you help your kids to run to Jesus when they've done something wrong? Great point. Let's talk to her about it.
As much as we may yearn to make the right decision and do the right thing all the time, this is impossible for us. We are far short of the glory of God. We lack His wisdom. We lack His omniscience. His ways are so much higher than our ways. And even more importantly, we are finite and fallen. We are born in sin. And this side of heaven, sin still scourges us, even while we are free in Christ. So as a result, we are always going to fail at some point, to make the wrong choice, to mess up, even as we try with all of our might to do the opposite. And yet, take heart. When you make decisions that don't turn out the way you hope or expect, know that in Christ there is forgiveness. In 1 John, we read that if we confess our sins, He is faithful and just to forgive us our sins and cleanse us of all unrighteousness. In Christ, we have forgiveness. No matter what mistakes we make, no matter how many errors we commit, in Him, because of the cross, when we place our faith in Christ, He removes our sins from us as far as the east is from the west. And so if you find that you make the wrong decision, take heart and know that we all do. When that happens, run to Jesus. Place your trust in Him. And know that when you do, you are embarking upon the greatest adventure of all, a personal relationship with the living God who made heaven and earth and who gave His one and only Son for sinners. All those who have faith in Him do not perish but have eternal life, no matter the mistakes they make.
Beautiful. All right. Help your kids to know that. All right. 12 minutes before the hour, we'll take a quick break. We'll be right back.
The threat of wildfire poses a growing risk to Oregonians. You can prepare now by taking 3 important steps. Create a home inventory, make copies of important financial records, and contact your insurance company to make sure you have the right amounts and types of home insurance coverage. Be wildfire ready by being insurance ready. Visit dfr.oregon.gov/prepare now to learn how.
The 71.5 Golf Challenge arrives Saturday, May 16th with a 4-person scramble, morning and afternoon shotguns, and a 6:30 award social. Register your team by April 1st for an early bird special. Score the team player pack for just $20 instead of $100 with the code EARLYBIRDIE. Become a sponsor and help kids across Southern Oregon. Visit 715.org or call 541-779-3275. At the 71.5 Golf Challenge, your drive saves lives. Millions are struggling with life and their walk with God. Transformed is a groundbreaking series seen right here on theDove TV that every week takes you behind closed doors to witness biblical counseling with real people facing real issues.
It was common to me to feel like I just wanted to escape.
It could be anxiety, depression, addictions, or other concerns. No issue is taken off the table.
To just get the pain out of my head and out of my heart.
The Bible has answers to life's problems. God's wisdom is better than man's. Lives are changed because God's hope is offered, not just treating the symptoms.
It's through the eyes of faith. Trusting what God says and being willing to obey what God says, even if it's not what you immediately feel.
Join Dr. Greg Gifford and see lives transformed from brokenness to wholeness. Mondays at 8:30 and Thursdays at 5, only on theDove TV.
Back back, and of course, we are a couple days away from our primary here in the state of Oregon. We have the voter's guide. You can come here. We still have a few of these left if you're in the local area. Oregon Family Council, they've done an excellent job putting everything together. And of course, you have your voter's pamphlet. You shouldn't be an uninformed voter. So no excuse. Get your ballots filled out, and if you don't mind me saying, take the extra mile and take it down and drop it off at a drop box.
Right.
Okay? In the meantime, why is it important to vote? Well, yesterday was the National Day of Prayer, and I had Pastor Robert Jeffress on to talk about a lot of things and pray, but I did ask him, why vote? Here's what he said.
The reason voting is important is, unlike biblical times in which a leader was imposed upon the people, you didn't choose who the emperor was, you didn't choose who the king was, all you could do was obey, Paul said in 1 Timothy 2. But John Jay, who was the first Chief Justice of our Supreme Court, said, God has given us the privilege in this Christian nation of choosing our leaders. And Perry, that means every time we go into the voting booth, we're either casting a vote for righteousness or for unrighteousness. And when we sit home, as 50% of Christians do, what we're basically saying is, I couldn't care less about the moral and spiritual direction of our country. It's imperative. It's part of our stewardship to cast a vote. And I think a lot of people, Perry, are confused. They don't like this candidate because he, doesn't do this or doesn't do that and so forth. The purpose, the God-ordained purpose of government is not to bring a revival to the nation. We're not looking for a political leader to do that. That's the church's responsibility. When we cast a vote, we are casting a vote for the person who best is able to fulfill the biblical role of government. When I look at Scripture, I see two responsibilities of government. One is to protect citizens against evildoers. That's Romans chapter 13. Government is an avenger of those who do evil. And the second responsibility of government is to protect our right to worship. 1 Timothy 2 says, pray that we can live quiet and tranquil lives in all godliness and dignity. Translated, pray that the government will just leave us alone to practice our faith. And so I'm looking for leaders who will protect us and who will protect our freedom of worship. And that's the qualification for being a government leader.
All right, there you go. So as Ronald Reagan said, government is the problem.
Absolutely.
So anyway, vote, okay? Be sure to vote. Vote early, vote often. No, just vote.
That's the Chicago motto.
That was a joke. But you have your ballots. They're sitting there. There's no excuse. Fill it out and pray about what the Lord would have you to do and fill it out and get it in.
Well, one of the things you never had to do as a child growing up in California was going down into the cellar when a tornado came through. Because A, you don't have cellars.
Right.
B, you don't have tornadoes either.
Not in California.
Not in California. But I remember as a kid, North Dakota, I remember it's time to go in the basement.
Really?
Yes. And everybody hunkered down in the basement hoping that you had a house up there when you came up. Well, that happened in Enid, Oklahoma. And one family found themselves in their cellar trapped beneath rubble. The rubble was their own home, and they had no way out.
The Sloat family had taken shelter in their cellar as a powerful storm tore everything apart above them. When it was over, debris had collapsed over the cellar door, sealing them inside. But help came from an unlikely source. Their two goats, Percy and Penny. The family feared the animals had been killed in the storm until they heard faint goat noises above them. What they didn't realize was that the goats had survived and were standing directly on top of the debris pile covering the cellar. When rescuers arrived, the goats caught their attention and helped lead them to exactly where the family was trapped. Soon, the Sloats were safely pulled from the wreckage. A remarkable rescue story made possible by two stubborn little heroes with hooves.
I guess there's a reason to have goats.
I wonder if those goats are living inside now.
I'll bet they're named.
You think they have their own tornado cellar?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. I wonder how they made it through. Yeah, they were out there exposed.
Yeah. Well, it's amazing to me how animals sense things.
Yeah, it's true.
A goat or a dog or somebody.
Right.
I mean,
And the wild animals. So, you know, you hear reports before big storms like that come through. Everything goes silent. They're all gone.
Yeah, that's the other thing too. But how dogs or cats or whatever sense something is wrong, and they do things, which is interesting. All right, take Psalm chapter 30, verse 5, a good scripture for you this Friday, heading into Mother's Day. For his anger lasts only a moment, but his favor lasts a lifetime. Weeping may stay for the night, but rejoicing comes in the morning. Sooner or later, you will cycle out of it. Trust the Lord. Beautiful day.
Press on and just fight the good fight, 'cause the pain that you've been feeling, it's
To all our moms of all ages, a very happy Mother's Day from the Dove TV.
Applegate River Golf and RV Resort, a pristine 9-hole course alongside the Applegate River. Their clubhouse offers a golf simulator experience. The RV Resort is adjacent to the golf course with convenient pull-through parking. Applegate River Golf and RV Resort. Information at applegaterv.com.
The Southern Oregon Repertory Singers bring 2 stunning world premieres to the SOU Music Recital Hall, May 9th and 10th. Featuring more than 70 choral voices, orchestra, and internationally renowned baritone Christopher Nomura, this concert is the grand finale of their 40th season. Experience the power and excitement of new musical journeys with the Southern Oregon Repertory Singers. For tickets, visit repsingers.org. That's repsingers.org.
Stewardship begins with the knowledge that nothing belongs to us, but everything belongs to the Lord. This helps us to run a business not in the fear of lack, but in the assurance of His care and provision. Such a perspective eliminates the drive to sell and replaces it with a heart that says serve. This begins with serving our clients and coworkers with integrity and genuine care. That's why at Kelly's, it's automotive service with a heart for God and treating others as we ourselves would want to be treated. Our promise is to never sell our clients anything we don't believe they need. Another is to do all we can to meet other needs, such as shuttle service and loaner cars, or taking the time to really listen, even at times praying with our customers. Sometimes this means sacrifice, going above and beyond. But that's why I work for Kelly's Automotive Service, honoring God while serving people with honesty and integrity.
Jerry's Historical Archives. U.S. history. Great moments in time. Record breakers. Our music through the years. Relive the past and learn something new. Open up Jerry's Historical Archives. Weekdays only on Mornings on the Dove. To all our mothers of all ages, a happy Mother's Day from the Dove TV, encouraging and informative.
Well, welcome to Focus Today. I'm your host, Perry Atkinson. And of course, there's a lot going on in this old world. And who do you trust and what's going on? And in particular, what's happening to our judiciary. I'm always honored when we have time to sit down with John O'Connor. John's a former federal prosecutor and he's an experienced trial lawyer. He's authored a couple of books that, interestingly enough, I want to talk to him about it because Watergate's back in the news. His book is called Postgate and How the Washington Post Betrayed Deep Throat and covered up Watergate and began what's called today's partisan advocacy journalism. John also served as an assistant U.S. attorney in Northern California representing the United States in both criminal and civil cases. He does have a website where you can get the book called postgatebook.com. You can get the book there, and then, of course, The Mysteries of Watergate is there. Brother John, good to see you, friend. How are you, buddy?
Good to be with you, Perry. I miss you. Haven't talked to you in a while.
Well, I'm like a bad habit. I return.
Well, I need my Perry fix.
Okay, thank you. I need my John fix. Hey, kind of interesting, a little on the side note, why is Watergate back in the news? Why are they reinvestigating all this?
Well, I don't know that. I might have missed that. I'm very excited if that's true, and I'm not sure exactly why.
Well, okay, you might want to look into it a little bit later, but it flashed across some of the headlines yesterday, and I'm going, wow, this is interesting. And I think it has a lot to do with what you uncovered. But nonetheless, it seems to be of interest in the news today, so we'll see how this unfolds. So good stuff.
Well, Perry, what do you this is so intriguing to me because I was on a plane yesterday and I missed my normal news feeds. Yeah. Is there any particular topic in Watergate that they're re-examining?
It looks like the actual players behind the president are in the focus now. We know Nixon was a big player in it, but the players behind him and why this came about is kind of the focus.
Well, that's why, your listeners, that's what I get into in my book, Postgate. It really gives you the whole structure of what really happened. Or Mysteries of Watergate is a little bit simpler. I take step by step in the Mysteries of Watergate. But most people do not understand what happened in Watergate, even though the Post did not print much of what it knew because it might give some strength to Nixon. They wanted the goal of tearing down Nixon, and they sacrificed truth for the result. And that's been with us ever since. So we have people willfully mischaracterizing what happens.
Yeah.
So, we see that today. It's a very difficult thing for the press to divorce their hatred of Donald Trump from an analysis of what he's done, whether it's right, wrong, or indifferent. I think Trump should be subject to criticism and scrutiny, as any president should. But I also don't think we should let our hatred of his foibles and irrationalities color our view of what's true and what's right and what's just. And that's what's happening today. And I suspect that that's what probably people are figuring out, that they weren't told the truth about Watergate.
Well, that's what I'm getting from what little I've seen so far of it. And it actually, if that is the case and the road they're going ahead, guess what? You're ahead of the curve. You wrote a book about it.
Yeah, that's what I want to say. Just look at my books. The reason this hasn't come up sooner is not enough people have read my books.
Oh, there you go. Well, maybe you'll get a surgeons here. John, with that kind of in mind, the shaping of all news and stories and things that are in the news today by the press, has the press turned the Supreme Court justices into political actors?
Unfortunately, it just comes from a very facile view of the court, that somehow these people in the court are just these wild, like you say, political actors, where they're not. They're very, especially the conservative ones, I will say this, and I think Justice Kagan on the liberal side, and before this, there are a couple other justices on the liberal side that were actually thinkers. I think Ginsburg was a thinker and so forth. But in any case, as was Breyer, but in any case, these people are very, very deep philosophical and legal thinkers. And they're trying to do what's right to straighten out our judicial system as it was set out by our founding fathers. And they're doing that in a very good way. And now what happens is you have this facile press who doesn't know how to interpret events. And now, of course, they call them political actors, whereas the Supreme Court is trying to do just the opposite. They're trying to depoliticize things and get back to where we came from, where we are as a country, and they're doing a very good job of it. But once again, because they're not politicians, they shouldn't be out there on the hustings, getting out there and trying to defend themselves. And they rely on the media to do that. And of course, the media as a whole is not is not smart.
I just can't even imagine the pressure that these justices live under, especially when they're protesting outside their home. Well, how do they manage that kind of pressure? When you got somebody outside your home threatening you, what do you do with that?
That takes tremendous moral and intellectual courage, is all I can say. I mean, Brett Kavanaugh sees what happens, and it's not so hard to understand why a normal person on the street might look at the justices being political characters, but when you get to people like Chuck Schumer and in the past Senator Leahy. Remember when the Obamacare matter first came up before the Supreme Court, they went out of their way to threaten the Supreme Court, not physically, but with shame if they didn't uphold Obamacare. And I think John Roberts changed his views so as not to be subject to scathing attack on the court. It is not good for society to attack the court. You know, when Trump says something about a judge, the liberal press is quick to say, "Oh, you can't do that. Oh, that's terrible. You're criticizing the press." But those same people criticize these really very, very wonderful intellectuals on the court, and they criticize them as if they're political players, and it's just really not right.
The Trump derangement syndrome being what it is, it's an amazing thing. I mean, it's actually, now I've talked to some leading psychologists, I mean, it's an actual thing. And to prove it, I probably could say some names to you that you would react to those names as much as some people react to Trump's name. I mean, we all have a derangement syndrome with somebody. But the point being is, the press now has influenced this nation unbelievably against this man. And yet, the foundation of the left is falling out from underneath them. Where do you think this is going?
This is the battle of our ages, because you have people on one side of the aisle who are ideologically driven. And therefore, when you have somebody like Trump, who not only thinks differently, but sort of verbally punches him in the nose about it, that's what drives them up a wall. And they're not so comfortable in their beliefs that they can debate it. If you are a socialist or a progressive, remember, the worst thing that can happen is to have skeptics around you, because socialism and progressivism is not rooted in debate or discussion. Our system in America is based on debate and discussion. Enlightened, liberal republics like ours, when I say liberal, freedom, demands discussion, as John Stuart Mill said, demands argument, demands skepticism, protects diverse thought. Socialist countries don't say, "Oh, it's okay to be anti-socialist." You can't do that. And you can't contradict the prevailing wisdom. So you have these two different philosophies, and this whole idea of progressivism is really very much counter to our entire system of government. So when you have somebody like Trump comes along who literally punches these folks in the nose and said, "Look, you folks are stupid." You know, I mean, Trump's really starting a debate. They don't want to debate. And that's really the real problem today. And where this is going, I don't know. I mean, this is why I tried to write things and talk to smart people like you and talk about this to try to get this discussion going. We have a part of our society that is illiberal. You will find that most conservatives don't have any problem with somebody else having different views. The problem is when someone tries to enforce those or have a cancel culture or deprogram you. Let's be able to go to the University of California and have a debate. Let's not have people throw rocks at you and shut down the debate. And that's the real I see that as the real battle in our society between those who want to have discussion and debate and have a liberal, free-thinking society where people can get together and determine who's right, who's wrong, and so forth, as opposed to an enforced orthodoxy. We have everyone talks about, the liberals talk about, oh, you can't enforce religion on people. Well, their thought is quasi-religious, and they're trying to enforce it. It's an all-encompassing orthodoxy that has no place in our political thought. That's why religious belief is protected, and it's as St. Augustine would say, it's the city of God, and we have to protect the city of God. But we should not be enforcing doctrine in our political lives. That's where we're supposed to be free and allow someone who thinks one way to do their thing and think someone and allow someone who thinks another way to do their thing. The very foundations of our society are being attacked by progressives now. And so what happens is the Supreme Court issues an opinion that they don't like, and so they vilify them. Trump comes along and speaks common sense, but does so in a very blustery and assaultive way. I got to say, I mean, he's very blunt. He's not a polite man, and that's what causes Trump derangement syndrome, because people are confronted on the left are confronted with the idea that they may be wrong, and that there's this leader out there that's getting people to stand up and acknowledge that maybe we should have debate and discussion here. Before we start decreeing about the climate, we ought to have a discussion about climate.
Yeah, that's well said, John. The last person that tried to have civil discourse on campus, they assassinated him, Charlie Kirk.
Yeah. That's what his point was let's have civil discourse. It's fine for you to believe some other way. Let's talk about it. Oh no, we've got to assassinate you. And of course, Trump, they've tried at least three times. And, and I think you would find, if you went below the surface, that there are a lot of people out there that claim that they're sophisticated, better people, well-educated, who really would love to see Trump assassinated.
Yeah.
That's why I'm very interested in what evidence the Justice Department has on James Comey. His present prosecution looks a bit silly from the outside and probably will be an acquittal case. But I wonder, when Todd Blanche said they had background information on Comey, I suspect you have probably some communications of Comey in which he's talking about how good it would be if Trump got assassinated. So I'm not saying I like the prosecution. I don't like it, but there are an awful lot of people out there that claim to be intelligent, highbrow people who want Trump to be assassinated. That's really sort of a shameful aspect of today's world.
Yeah, it's a hard one to swallow, but it's true. To the Comey thing, before I take a break, since you brought it up, I don't know. You had the 8647 shell thing on the beach made up of shells. I can't imagine they would bring this case against him if there wasn't something there more than just some shells on the beach. I mean, does shells have First Amendment protection for what they did to themselves on the beach? I mean, there's got to be something else there,
Well, certainly. It looks like a classic First Amendment case, and the only way you make that a crime is if that is a true exhortation to violence against the president. Now, I looked at those shells and I thought Comey was just a pitiful guy who's trying to get relevance. In 86, I looked to be, you get tossed out of a bar, you call it getting 86th. So I didn't see much in it, and I thought that we're giving Comey a stage that we'd thankfully kicked him off of a while back, and now here we are. But yes, there has to be something more, Perry, because otherwise this is an absurd prosecution.
Yeah, it really is. All right, let me take a quick break. By the way, check out the book. Get his book first. You don't need to get all the other stuff that's out there. Go to postgatebook.com and pick up Postgate. or the follow-up to it, The Mysteries of Watergate. It's all back in the news again. It looks like John was well ahead of the curve. We'll take a quick break. We'll be right back.
The Lennox iComfort S30 thermostat can sense changes in your environment. It even knows when you come and go. So now your home's most important system is also the smartest.
Metal Masters can give you the smartest home comfort system available. It knows when you're away and adjusts when allergens and humidity get uncomfortable. Trust Metal Masters to provide perfect air for your family.
Lennox. Air is life. Make it perfect.
Have you seen Mornings on the Dove?
Something has happened to our country here where we're glorifying assassinations and killings and killing babies, and we're glorifying taking God's creation and turning it upside down and throwing it on its head, where a boy can become a girl and a girl become a boy. I mean, the whole thing. At what point are you going to wake up and realize that we are fighting something that's spiritual?
News with a little bit of common sense. Mornings on the Dove, weekdays 6 to 8 a.m.
Okay, welcome back. Always an honor to have John O'Connor with us, former federal prosecutor. He's certainly an experienced trial lawyer. His book called Postgate and How the Washington Post Betrayed Deep Throat and Covered Up Watergate and began what we call today's partisan advocacy journalism is spot on. It's back in the news again today, the whole issue of Watergate, back into the Nixon era. But you can go and get the first writings on it, and probably the right one. It is the right one, called Postgate, or The Mysteries of Watergate. You can get it at postgatebook.com. John, I was just thinking of this question, just to stay on the hatred of the president just for a moment. Wishing a president dead, is it considered free speech protection, or does it incite action?
That's the question. If talking about wishing the president dead is just that, it's just a general way of saying that I don't like the president and I wish he were dead. That's not really an incitement to action. But it's almost like, what's the thing that King Henry VIII has said, who will rid me of this priest? And that was a call to action by Henry VIII. Who will rid me of this priest? There's an adjective in there, I forget the exact quote. But yes, anything, when you go a little bit beyond, I wish the president were dead, to something else, in the context that may be an incitement to action. You know, when somebody gives you a question and then you say, well, I wish the president were dead, and it's in the context of talking about political action, then you can consider that part of incitement.
Yeah.
But just simply saying it without any context is probably right within free speech. But then it's very easy to get beyond that and have a criminal incitement. So I think that's the issue.
What may get Comey in trouble is that he took a picture of those shells and he started to post it on social media until he got caught. Then he stopped. Was that intent to incite?
That's it. Now he's putting it out in the internet, and he's trying to spread it around. And now, why is he doing that? Now, he could say that yes, he was doing this because he was really basically saying, I want Trump impeached, or I want some peaceful political way of getting rid of him. I want him to be voted, whatever. I don't know what it would be. I suppose it'd be impeached. That's the only way you can 86 him. But now, if you put that in the context of this whole idea of assassination, and that's why I think what Todd Blanche hinted at is they have something else on him. Now, then you have another question, which is, how would people reasonably understand this? Many people like me reasonably understood it not to be an incitement to violence. However, what if the facts are that Comey knew that a certain percentage of the people would take that as an incitement to violence? Then I would say it is an incitement to violence because of his knowledge. Now, Comey is smart enough. He's a very good criminal. And he's smart enough to say after this, gosh, I didn't think anyone would take this as an incitement to violence. So he had the defense right there at the ready.
Yeah.
Now, but if he knew otherwise, if you can prove that he knew otherwise, and for instance, let's say he wrote Perry and said, hey, Perry, by the way, I think the populace is so on edge that I think if I just come out with this 86-47, there are going to be some people that are going to go out there probably going to try to kill Trump. Ha, ha, ha. Wouldn't that be great? Anything that would indicate that state of mind. Now, I don't think it would be that stark, but nonetheless, that would then show that his intent was incitement. And if he had that intent, even though some people might take it one way and some might take it the other, that's enough for a crime.
Yeah.
If he knew or had reason to know that people would take this, a certain number of people would take this as an incitement to violence, then he's guilty of a crime.
Yeah.
Now, his defense is, as he came out right away, because he's an experienced guy and he's a very smart guy, and he knew right away what the defense was. Gee, I took this down because I didn't think anybody would understand this to be an incitement to violence. That's what he said. He put his defense out there. So the question is, does Blanche have evidence otherwise as to what he thought?
Okay. All right. A couple other things before I run out of time. First of all, can you explain the War Powers Act and why so many presidents ignore it and now they want to make it stick again?
First of all, it's probably unconstitutional. Every president has thought that, including Obama, because really, you are really saying that the Congress has the right to impede the president's clear authority over national security, unless it is a true declared war where the Senate, need the advice and consent of the Senate. It is established throughout our history that a president need not go to Congress if he does not seek a declaration of war. War was never declared in Korea. That was a police action. Vietnam was a police action. Those things took years, and so forth. There wasn't even, I don't think there was even a declaration of war in either of the Iraq deals. So just as a political matter, you try to go to Congress and try to get their assent, but you don't need it. So that's number one. And then number two, Obama contended that it wasn't a war if you didn't have boots on the ground. When he did one of the things in Libya, he said pure bombing is not a war anyway. So Obama said it's both unconstitutional and that bombing, if no boots on the ground, it's not a war. And so forth. And then there's also something that Obama pulled, and I don't know the exact deals, but he kept starting and restarting the 60-day clock.
Oh.
That's what Trump is doing now. He's saying, even if you say that the War Powers Act would otherwise apply, because we had the ceasefire and we had no hostilities, now we're starting a new clock. So that's one of the things that Obama said, which everybody thought was great at the time, but now that Trump is doing it, they're going to fight it. So that's really what it is. I think the only remedy here, frankly, is impeachment. The president can do what the president does. And they can also pull back funding, I guess, at some point, but that would take a while. So, I think the War Powers Act is unconstitutional.
Well, even the Secretary of State, Marco Rubio, said such. So we'll see if this goes. I'm running out of time, but John, I'm kind of curious. You live in California. You got the most interesting governor's race known to mankind going on down there. Your open primaries created an absolute mess. How are you viewing it these days?
Well, in a way, it's redounding to the benefit of Republicans because Steve Hilton might be a nominee with 18% of the vote. It's a crazy state. It's just gotten out of control. So this is the irony of it is that a Republican might actually win this thing. Think about Arnold Schwarzenegger. He won that gigantic race for the governorship after Gray Davis left. And I think he just needed a small percentage of the vote to get over. And that's the last time we had a Republican governor. So maybe something will happen here that will be fun, and we might actually have a sane state. But the state is being destroyed. We all know that. It's being destroyed as we speak. We're driving billionaires out. We have a lot of billionaires here, and yet we're going out of our way to drive them out when they're contributing so much to the coffers here.
It looks like Newsom is really in trouble. I mean, everything he touches crumbles, but yet he's polling as the fair-haired boy for the 28 election cycle. What's your take on that?
Well, I think he is objectively not doing well, but because he's out there and he's got name recognition and he's a nice-looking guy, I think our voting public is fairly, I don't know what you want to say, vapid as a whole. And I think the guy's got a real shot. He's got political gifts. I will say this. He's got political gifts. And he's got a lovely wife, and he's a handsome guy, and he speaks well. I do think he's making some errors. And I think, unfortunately, his wife, who's a sweet person, is trying too hard sometimes. But he's still very much in the running. Who else is there that has any following? I think maybe Rahm Emanuel, but I don't know that everybody out there thinks Rahm Emanuel is the answer. So he may be our next guy. And unfortunately, I think Gavin Newsom is really impelled by the progressive left, and so he might be a very dangerous candidate, even though he's got political gifts.
Yeah, well said. Well, John, it's too bad you and I aren't on the ticket. We could solve all the problems.
Perry, I just think the problem is the rest of the country doesn't realize that.
Well, maybe we ought to start a write-in campaign. A little late, but we'll try it next time.
Exactly.
Thank you, John. God bless your friends. Stay in the fight. Look forward to talking to you soon.
Take care.
Okay.
Take care.
When life feels heavy, your body feels it, your mind feels it. That is why I created Organic Elements Wellness Spa, a place where wellness is not a luxury, it's a way of life. Step into our wellness lounge with a Himalayan salt room, infrared sauna, steam room, and invigorating cold plunge. Restore your nervous system, detox your body, and clear your mind. Then experience customized massage, advanced skin therapies, and result-driven facials, all designed to help you look as good as you feel. There's nothing else like this in Southern Oregon. This is your space to heal, to reset, to glow. Call today to book your private wellness party for up to 15 guests or surprise someone special with a gift certificate.
Visit Organic Elements Wellness Spa on East Main Street in Medford. Book online at organicelementspa.com. Wellness is wholeness. Voted best of Southern Oregon. Tackling the tough issues facing America and our nation's freedom. That's Sekalo on the Dove TV.
DAs around the country finding who they want to prosecute and then determining what crime they could charge them with. You can't believe this is the country we're living in, that this is happening.
A bold half hour hosted by ACLJ's Jordan and Logan Sekulow, taking you inside the battle of constitutional and political freedom, discussing issues that matter to you and your family.
This is just not the right precedent we want to be setting, even if we don't like Donald Trump. This is just all-out chaos, and that's what could happen very soon.
Watch Sekulow for issues that matter to you, addressing the problems of Christian rights in the workplace, school, the marketplace, and protecting human life.
I hope this doesn't have to go all the way to the U.S. Supreme Court.
Be in the know with Sekulow. Wednesday, Thursday, and Saturday only on the Dove TV.
Welcome back, and I've been looking forward to our special guest today, Janice Trey, board chair of the Epoch Times and NTD TV, as well as the spokesperson for SafeMeat.us. We'll talk about that. The survivor of a Chinese labor camp under Mao, and she brings firsthand experience with authoritarian information control and its devastating consequences. We do want to talk about digital privacy and control. Check out Janice's website, SafeMeat.us, SafeMeat, MEET.us, and there's a picture of that landing page. Janice, so good to see you. How are you?
Doing great, Perry. Thank you so much for having me on your show.
Well, thank you. We got a lot to talk about, short amount of time, but tell us your story real quick.
So I was born in the forced labor camp because my parents were engineers during the Cultural Revolution. And so I was a forced child labor, first grade, second grade, and third grades, growing sugarcane for the school, pick up crops from the crop field every day after school during harvest seasons. And that was my childhood. And my grandfather was a successful banker, but his bank was robbed, so he fled to Hong Kong. So later on, my father sent me to Hong Kong because my father, as an engineer, he knows Einstein believes in God, and so he felt like I should have the opportunity to learn Christianity. So he sent me to a Christian school and lived with my grandfather in Hong Kong.
Wow. And how long were you in the camp?
10 years, yeah, and then almost 10 years. And when I went to Hong Kong, I was age 10. And then 1989, Tiananmen Square Massacre, June 4th, was the trigger point for me to apply for colleges in the U.S. I wasn't planning to come to U.S. as undergraduate students, but I did after seeing, the tank roll out to attack the students with no weapons. And my best friend, Dr. Pan, was a medical school student, and he worked on the ambulance on Tiananmen Square, and he personally carried dozens of dead bodies and heavily injured students. And so I came to U.S. 1990.
Wow. How in the world did you get out?
Well, I would say the grace of God. I mean, it was not easy. I mean, when I applied for colleges, I sat for SAT exam where I never learned a lot of the vocabularies that was tested in SAT. So my English score was low, but my math score was near perfect score. So I was managed to get accepted by a number of university in the U.S. And I started a new life on American soil. And I forever treasure the freedom and all the people who've been giving me a hand in my journey here.
Wow. What a story. What a story. Have you written about it? Have you written a book about it?
No, I have not, but that's something I've been asked, frequently. I have published a couple books, but mostly for my husband, who is a 3 times Nobel Peace Prize nominated and awardee for the Mother Teresa Award for Social Justice. And so I help him with, I published his book, and I help him with his film that's about to release called Silent Harvest.
Wonderful. You've been very concerned and warning nonprofit organizations, churches and ministries in particular, to be thinking about digital privacy and security. I've been to a couple of seminars on that because we're a ministry here, and I don't know if we're fully aware of the dangers. What's your take on all this?
Unfortunately, most people are unaware of the censorships and also the lack of security. Some of the big tech people have the illusion, if they're big tech, they're so big, they must have really secure information. But they did not know that they could be eavesdroppings, they may have a backdoor, and they may release your information to someone else. Let me give you an example. When Tucker Carlson planning his trip to Russia to interview Putin, at that time he has not even told his wife about his plan. He only communicated via signal, and then NSA approached him to interview him and asked him, why are you going to Russia? And he was shocked. And how do you know? Like, no one else, not even my wife, knew about my trips. And they said, well, we read your signal messages. And so when and he was in Russia, and he was in touch with Snowden. And again, the signal messages were released to the press. So people thought that, that was encrypted software. It should be safe, government use it. However, I have seen screenshots of that backdoor was hacked and was available in the public domain. You can pay $1 million, and you can get that access. And most recently, the German parliament, the head of German parliament, which is like number 2 in the country, her account was hacked. Her signal messages were now in the public domain. So that's the type of risk. And let alone other software that we use. Most people use Zoom, but Zoom is run by a Chinese company. So subject to the dictatorships and censorships, and then also potential release the information to the Chinese Communist Party. And if many people use WhatsApps use phone number, and most of the application use phone number because it's convenient. However, they try to use your phone to get your location, and so that they can monetize you by putting advertisements. The phone is not safe. Phone is very easy to hack. I mean, even Jeff Bezos' phone was hacked. SafeMeet is very different than the others. We never require a phone number to register, only an email address, and you could even set up a new email address just to register for SafeMeet. And even though you can make calls on SafeMeet, as long as you have internet connections, it's actually not go through any cell phone towers, any cell phone companies. It is using native call, and a lot of the cell phone companies, their towers, their modem, and all those are very easy to be attacked. SafeMeet, you only need an email to register. It's one single application. You can do phone call, you can do texting, file sharing, and video conferencing, all 4 things in one single app. A lot of risk when you switch from app to app. And so one single app. And the unique feature of SafeMeet is in order to decrypt, it requires a local key. And the local key is only stored in your laptop or your phone, in your physical device. So any hackers, most hacking activities operate virtually, remotely. That means they can never get to your physical phone or your physical computer, so they cannot hack you. And SafeMeet not only encrypted frame by frames, but also have the entire ecosystem. We don't use any of the big tech cloud or big tech virtual servers. We have our own system, so it's end-to-end encrypted. It's the most safe versions of communications with people around the world, anybody in closed society. It was really like a gift to humanity, because we want to have Bible study with people in China instead of doing the underground churches, and you can have Bible study with them, with Russia, with Koreans, and with Nigerians who are being Christians are being persecuted there. So 40 languages we support.
This is amazing. at the end of the day, no matter what device or what platform we are using, we're being mined, right?
Yes, because lots of the big tech, they sell your informations to big consulting firms. They mine those data, and so that they can put the right advertisements, and they use your information to profile you. And but SafeMeet is different because no third party can get to the information, and SafeMeet do not store your information and never sell your information. It was never stored, and so cannot get to it. And even the SafeMeet developers do not have access to your voice call, your video conferencing, or your file sharings, because the SafeMeet developers do not have access to your physical phone or your physical computer.
Okay, as you know, a lot of individuals and ministries use apps, a lot of them, the big ones, Facebook, Facebook Messengers, WhatsApp, and the list goes on and on and on. And to your point, if we consolidate those into, say, a FaceTime or a or maybe a conference call or video conference call, at that point we're all open, right? I mean, the mega guys, the inscription guys, the metadata people, they can tap in. Or am I being too suspicious?
Well, I think many of the audience have experienced, like, why all of a sudden you're doing something, then they were advertisement pop up to you. You were just thinking about that topic or talking about that topic or texting about that topics, and like whether it's travel and whether it's certain locations and certain things, and how do they know? This is what is in your mind. So they don't have the sixth sense to read your mind, but because they are able to read your information or read your email. And a lot of people think that password will be safe, but actually with a supercomputer, password can be decoded as well. And so what we really need is a end-to-end encryption, and SafeMeet use the type of encryption technology that's been trusted by NASA, German Department of Defense, French Department of Interior, as well as the UK National Health Services. And so imagine those huge entities, the type of encryption that they trust. I think what SafeMeet provides is really unparalleled.
One other quick question before I take a break, Janice. The insurance world now is getting involved in this, and they want to sell you insurance for protection. I understand that. The question I have is, the damage is done. Once you've been hacked, the damage is done. And you may file a claim to get some money, but you still lost your data.
And imagine your financial records or your health records. And if you are, a celebrity, your health records could be your top secrets. You don't want anyone else to know except your doctors, and maybe you're even hiding from some of your family or your relatives, from that information. And imagine when you have children, and kids, make mistakes as they grow up, and so imagine when they are on social media, whatever they do now, they are recorded somewhere, and they could be used one day against them. Maybe, 30 years later, when they are in a hearing for a Supreme Court justice or whatever, high-level positions, and because that social media post could haunt you. But if your kids use SafeMeet, no one else, other than whoever he or she communicates to, no third party can access the data, and that's the privacy that everyone deserves.
Okay, let me take a break. Let me say to our viewers and listeners, check out Janice's website, SafeMeet, MEET.us. There's a picture of that landing page, SafeMeet. We'll take a quick break. We'll be right back.
Buying or selling a home can be stressful. It's one of the biggest decisions you'll make in your lifetime. That's why it's important to work with someone you trust, someone who has the right experience and knowledge of the market.
Hi, we're Patrick and Paulina Lizer with Lizer Real Estate Group.
And whether you're looking to buy or sell a home, our mission is to take the stress out of the transaction and make it as seamless and rewarding as possible.
Contact us today. We look forward to working with you.
I'm Susanna, and I contracted KA Designs to do custom cabinets throughout my house. We chose a really beautiful maple wood that really creates like a nice airy space. Everything was custom, and it was really cool because I got to literally see it come to life in person. We love to entertain, and we have a large family, so everything came together perfectly, exactly what I wanted. I highly suggest KA Designs if you're looking to design your dream house. Go check them out in their showroom. You will not be disappointed.
This week on the John Ankerberg Show, we'll talk about the brave people that are bringing the gospel of Jesus Christ to their people using audio Bibles.
God is working through these audio Bibles. People hear the Word of God, and God, the Holy Spirit, uses that Word to pierce their heart. I am impressed with how powerful the Word of God is.
Join me for the John Ankerberg Show right here on the Dove TV. It'll be encouraging and informative.
Have you seen Mornings on the Dove?
Welcome to Mornings on the Dove. Everybody take a big breath. North Korea and South Korea were trying to warm relations. Well, it ended up a little too hot, I guess.
This guy is over the top.
They said it's one of the most advanced fighter aircrafts in the world.
Jesus willed that his own executioners keep on living. And that's astounding. What mercy.
Wake up to information. Mornings on the Dove, weekdays.
Okay, welcome back. Wow, what an honor to have with us Janice Trey, former CEO of Epoch Times and currently serves as the chair of the board and also that of NTD TV and spokesperson for SafeMeat.us. That's the website, Safe, S-A-F-E, Meat, M-E-E-T.us. She's personally a survivor of the Chinese labor camps under Mao, and she brings firsthand experience of what it is to live under authoritarianism and information about control of all of these devastating consequences. So much to talk to you about. Janice, I guess my concern in our conversation boils down to kind of two areas. One is financial, and the other one is informational. And so my concern is on the banking side of things and how safe our banking is. Everything's being done online. Everything's being done online. I mean, we're using the cloud like it's something up there, you know, when it really goes through somebody's computer. And then on the other side, you have information, and this deals with truth and censorship. Those are the two areas that's got my alarms up. I realize that as individuals, we're very vulnerable when it comes to metadata collection or inscription collection. But if you take that to the next level, your finances, how secure are we dealing with online banking? And where does truth in media and censorship comes in as to how you're going to control the narrative of a culture? Or am I too far off base here?
Well, a lot of people are too dependent with online banking. But imagine there's a power outage, and it only requires attacking 9 transformers in the United States, and then will be out of power for a very extended period of times. And if at that point, if people all rush to the ATM machine to get cash, they have very limited cash available on each ATM machines, and they won't be able to replenish timely. And so people really should plan that out. While bank using secure, so-called secure encryption systems, however, it doesn't take too much for a bad actor access to a bank teller account, because the bank teller or the customer service, by nature, they will be able to view your information, right? And so it is, there's a lot of fraudulent activities that's going on. And I would say people underestimate the risks.
Yeah.
Versus when with SafeMeet, I save my financial records on SafeMeets, and if I'm meeting with my financial advisors or someone who prepare tax returns and certified public accountants, and you can give that information to the trusted ones. You have a way to store it safely, but most importantly is we have to be mindful. I would encourage everybody to keep back copies just in case.
I bring that up because I just want people to be extra cautious here. And firewalls being what they are, do you understand what those are and how they work? On the information side, censorship being what it is, let me ask you this. Back to China just for a moment. How involved is China in gathering information in the United States?
Oh, extensively. Like even TikTok is controlling the mind of the young generations. You think of your home, you may have a TV that was made in China. The modem is likely to make in China, and they could build in things there to monitor you. And people use for convenience, you can have some voice commands and do a lot of things, but then the same voice commands also meaning there is a recording machines right there all the time when you have the capability to do voice commands. And so people are unaware of all those information are being captured, and you may not even know that. And so it is widespread, and the risk is China is the largest manufacturer of drones, and they can easily leverage your information and using drones to attack you to do something. They have the entire system, and many of the cameras, and even in locations where you may not think of, like in mass transportations, and they have those cameras, and it's all Chinese makes, mostly Chinese make, and it's huge risk. And think of the Huawei machine has been used around the world, and if you look at the Iran situations, some high-level government official died because they were using Huawei machines, and it can. If someone able to tap into the Huawei information, that means they thought it was secure, but then it can also be the reasons for being located by, say, Israeli agents and able to take them down. So similar things could happen on American soil. The information collections has been a systematic way of the Chinese government, the communist regime. If you look at COVID, they use COVID to put all sorts of like face recognitions and tracking your license plates and tracking your movements.
Yeah,
they use that as excuse. So now they have your facial recognition. They have all things at the fingerprints. If they want to pull the triggers, at that point you are defenseless.
Let me. I only got a couple of seconds here left. How worried are you about AI in all this discussion?
AI is like nuclear technology you can use for nuclear power, electricity generation, but you can also use it as a atomic bomb. So AI can be used for good, but can also be used for bad things. So there is a website that I highly recommend people with children or friends and family with children, and go to Ganjingworld, 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 and that's this websites that use AI in a positive ways, that they remove all the drugs and harassment, violence, and sexual contents to create a clean environment. So there is hope of using AI in a positive way, but in most cases, people should be aware of the risk.
One other quick question, Janice. We see in the news where China or Russia can hack us. Can we hack them? Or do they have better firewalls than we do?
Sure. I mean, it is. I think the U.S. Intelligence Office has admitted that this is going both ways. I mean, anybody in the intelligence services know that they try to get information, and the hacking is one of the ways. But huge resources being developed in North Korea and in Iran because they try to suppress information flows, and so and China is a huge army to not only censor on the internet. In China, the internet is being censored, but they also have, they call the 50 cents army. They will pay 50 cents per post to counter things. And to give you an example, New York Times, Nicole Hong published a dozen articles, A Texture in Performing Art, which is the world's premier classical Chinese dance showing China before communism. And Nicole Hong's article in 2024 was ranked as #1 most widely read New York Times article because those were artificial bots to pop up the article. So we should be aware of those things.
Let me ask you one question. I only got 30 seconds, so I'm sorry. Do you have hope for China? It seems like the economy's bad over there. Things are falling apart, but they're still very strong. Do you have hope for China?
Yes, 460 million plus people have withdrawn from the Chinese Communist Party and its affiliated organization. China will transition from communist state to non-communist states, and there's the book called 9 Commentaries of the Communist Party, or The Spectre of Communist Party Ruling the World. Those are the books you can find out more.
Can I get you back? I want to talk about that.
Thank you so much, Barry.
Let me say, go to safemeet.us, SAFEMEET.us. That is Janice's website. Thank you, Janice. We'll get you back. We'll talk more about that later. Thank you so much. God bless you.
God bless. Thank you.
Applegate River Golf and RV Resort, a pristine 9-hole course alongside the Applegate River. Their clubhouse offers a golf simulator experience. The RV Resort is adjacent to the golf course with convenient pull-through parking. Applegate River Golf and RV Resort. Information at applegaterv.com.
Combining your home and auto insurance could save you time and money. And who doesn't like that? Want surprisingly great rates on auto, home, and life? Now's the time to call State Farm agent Rory Wold in Medford.
Like a good neighbor, State Farm is there.
In a world desperately seeking truth, Cliff Connectley and his son Stuart travel across the U.S. to give an answer for questions, doubts, and challenges concerning faith.
What is the evidence that Muhammad spoke the truth? What is the evidence that Jesus Christ spoke the truth?
Their mission is to ignite a passion for truth, guide individuals to embrace faith, and help people find purpose, engaging skeptics.
It kind of sounds like then that God punished us. The vast majority of chaos in nature is a direct result of God stepping back.
They're driven by a deep commitment for spreading the message of Christ to a world who needs it.
But you see, what Satan has done is he's put doubt in our mind.
Join them as they strive to make a lasting impact on lives and hearts, sharing the love of Jesus with an unwavering dedication.
Because God loves you, and God has given you gifts.
Watch Give Me an Answer, weekdays at 3 on the Dove TV. Relive treasured and classic Billy Graham moments of the past, Fridays and Saturdays on the Dove TV, encouraging and informative. Good morning. You're tuned to the Dove, encouraging and informative, helping Oregon, Northern California, Idaho, and Nevada start the day with news and encouragement. This is Mornings on the Dove.
Well, good morning to you. Happy Friday. Welcome to Mornings on the Dove. It took us 4 days to get here. And here we are.
Again.
It was a long trip, but we made it.
But look where we made it to. Look at this.
Well, this is, we are in the middle of the beautiful flower bed this morning.
Yeah.
Why?
Why, yeah. Oh, because Mother's Day on Sunday.
I think we have a close-up of these. Do we have a close-up of these?
Do we?
Look at that.
Whoa. Those things grew.
Okay, and that is to let you know that Sunday is Mother's Day.
Yeah.
And guys and gals and children and husbands, you cannot use the excuse that you were not forewarned.
That's right.
Okay?
Yes.
And if you're smart, you'll be doing something this morning, not tomorrow.
Not tomorrow, but keep in mind that if it dawns on you tomorrow that you have done nothing, rush, run as fast as you can.
Yes.
Do not delay.
Yeah.
Go down and do something immediately. I'll never forget, I was in buying a Mother's Day card on Mother's Day.
Yeah.
Me and another guy by ourselves in the card section.
And you got the last two cards in
No,
the
the guy, he's like, this isn't exactly what I wanted to say, but this will do.
Oh, boy, don't go down that road.
But anyway, a clerk walked by and she looked and she goes, "Oh, man, you guys are late." And I said, "No, tomorrow's late.
Yeah.
We're on time."
That was Leon's thing.
Yeah, okay.
All right, so that's a close-up of the field, but that's just a little bit of a reminder. So here's the broad shot of the beautiful flower field this morning. There we go.
That is
We're
wonderful.
back to that. All right. All right, good morning to you. Happy Friday. A lot going on in the news. There always is. And let's take a look at what you got.
Well, I was trying to boot here. Do you ever find that the older your equipment is, the slower you boot?
Oh, so you're going to blame it on your equipment.
I'm like, come on, man, come up. Okay, today is, first of all, National Military Spouse Appreciation Day, always observed on the Friday before Mother's Day.
Okay.
Yeah, so, you know, all spouses of military members, our hats off to you.
Right.
And I hope that you all have a wonderful Mother's Day, even if you're a husband.
Okay.
Because there are spouses that their wives are serving.
Yes.
Yeah, so our hats off to you.
Yes.
National Student Nurse Day. It's part of National Nurses Week. We've recognized a lot of nursing this week. Regular nurses. We've had now student nurses. And, of course, our hats off to you as well. National Provider Appreciation Day, celebrated annually on the Friday before Mother's Day. And, you know, provider, we think of moms as providers.
Yeah.
And it is National Coconut Cream Pie Day, celebrating its own slice of deliciousness made with a sweet coconut cream filling. Pie lovers know a thick layer of real whipped cream topped with roasted coconut makes this pie irresistible. Isn't it good?
Yes.
I love it. It's right there as it is. You don't have to add anything to it.
No.
So,
this is coconut cream and banana cream, but coconut cream is just marvelous. Absolutely marvelous.
And then wash it down with some Coca-Cola. Today is National Have a Coke Day.
Really?
First introduced to the public on this day in 1886 and served at Jacob's Pharmacy in Atlanta. It was 5 cents, and the original formula was created by Dr. John S. Pemberton, a pharmacist, and was marked with a tonic for the most common ailments, including headaches, fatigue, and nervousness.
And it created its own song.
Oh, Coca-Cola is the marketing genius of all products in the world. We're looking at the iconic Hilltop Coke ad, and a couple things about this, but did you know if you walk down the street in America and you said a product name and 95% of the people on the street recognize it, you'd have pretty good market saturation. Coke's got that globally.
Yeah, I know.
Globally.
Globally. You can go to any country and say Coke and they know what you're talking about.
This ad is iconic, but it was supposed to be shot on the White Cliffs of Dover in England. And they set up, they spent their whole budget, they sat on the cliffs for 3 days and they got poured on. They tried to get footage, but everybody looked like they got rained on.
Yeah.
So they said, hang on, we found this hill in Italy. The weather's decent, let's ship everybody there. They said, wait a minute, we've already blown the budget on this. They said, the budget just doubled.
Yeah.
And so they took them down there, and of course it is one of those that we all know.
Can you play that a little more, Scott?
Yeah, let's hear it.
Turn the volume up a little bit.
Yeah.
Can you do it again? Okay, turn it.
The world a home and furnish it with love. Grow apple trees and honey bees and snow white turtle doves. I like to teach the world to sing. Sing with me. Perfect harmony. Perfect harmony. I like to buy the world a Coke and keep it company. That's the real. I like to teach the world to sing. In perfect harmony. And I'd like to buy the world a Coke and keep it company. It's the real thing. What the world wants today. It's the real thing.
Isn't that wonderful?
It really is.
Takes you back.
And you kind of wonder why they haven't brought that back.
I don't know. You know, that's a great idea.
I mean, they brought classic back. Why didn't they bring the song back?
Yes. And there was one of the marketing coups of forever. Let's replace the. You know why they replaced the original Coke? Because the Pepsi Challenge. Remember the Pepsi Challenge?
Oh, yeah.
They would set up. That was an organic little movement, and they said, "Well, Pepsi tastes better, so let's change it." And people revolted.
Oh boy!
They said, "Oh, no way! This is."